The walk up Wembley Way hasn't changed a lot in the last 21 years, but the ground has changed beyond recognition. And 21 years ago, the old Wembley Stadium played host to the most famous playoff final of them all.
Every one of those players wants to be in the Premiership next season.
When I look back at it now, it just seemed as though Wembley stood still.
Pushes the Premiership door ajar for Charlton. Summerby with the latest corner. Quinn's header! And Sunderland have squared it 5 minutes into the second half. Kevin Phillips, 2-1 to Sunderland. And he's aimed for Mendonca, and he's found him. Can he equalise for Charlton? Yes, he can! It's a second for Quinn. And it's suddenly Sunderland who are back in pole position for the Premiership.
Once Niall Quinn scored 3-2 to Sunderland, it's going to be quite hard for us. So you're just thinking, hopefully we'll get another chance.
And it's 3-3, incredible.
It was heartbreaking, it really was, because there was moments in that playoff final where we thought we were playing in the Premier League the season after, but it was very quickly taken away from us.
3s each, then obviously we're going into extra time.
Has Summerby finally hit the jackpot for Sunderland? Mendonca waits in the box. Mendonca! It is the hat-trick! For the third time in this game, Charlton have drawn themselves level.
It was unbelievable, really. I mean, to score 3 goals at Wembley, it's like a dream come true for me.
That walk from centre circle up to the penalty spot is the longest walk I've ever made in my life.
Illich has saved it. Charlton are in the Premiership.
4s each at Wembley as well, on the stage you're at. Doesn't get any better than that.
Clive Mendonca's hat-trick, still one of the most famous moments in Charlton's history, and today the club play at the new Wembley for the first time. Seeing off Doncaster on penalties, the Bauer side are now just 1 win away from a first return to the Championship since getting relegated in 2016. Painful memories for Sunderland fans from 21 years ago, but their army of fans are in fantastic spirits. These were the scenes last night as once again Wearside invaded Trafalgar Square. So, a second visit to Wembley this season for Sunderland. Jack Ross's side will be hoping to use their Checkatrade Trophy disappointment to inspire them to a win today and a return to the Championship at the first time of asking. Talisman Aidan McGeady is fit but starts on the bench for the Black Cats. Here's how both of these sides made their way to Wembley. Charlton-Doncaster finished 4-4 over 2 legs and was decided on penalties, where we heard that one before. Charlton victorious at the Valley in the shootout. Chris Maguire's sultry goal in the first leg at the Stadium of Light, enough to see Sunderland pass Pompey. Well, these two sides kicked off the season way back in August, and they meet again in the Sky Bet League One playoff final. It's Charlton versus Sunderland live from Wembley Stadium with kick-off at 3 p.m. And remember, we could be going to extra time and penalties if needed. Good afternoon and welcome to Wembley Stadium. It's a fixture certainly steeped in history, but more importantly, a place in the Sky Bet Championship for the winner. Delighted to have alongside me 2 men who know all about these teams and how to get them promoted. Legends apiece, Chris Powell and Mickey Gray. Gentlemen, welcome. Mickey, once again, we're in this position where we're talking about it. I presume you've had a busy week.
I've had a busy 21 years, not just a busy week. Look, when it got to the playoffs, I knew the writing was going to be on the wall. It looked like Charlton were going to win their 2 legs, which has happened. And Sunderland had a difficult tie against Portsmouth. You know, a couple of months before they played them here in the Checkatrade. They lost that, unfortunately, but they got the job done. But it's all about trying to get to the Championship. I think the aim at the beginning of the season, if you ask Jack Ross, would probably be promotion. We've got 1 game left. This is a big game.
And does it show just how much it means to everyone involved that we still talk about a game that's over 2 decades old? Everything that went along with it, the names that come out of it, Clive Mendonca, Michael Gray, obviously, and how close you two were in the fact of geographically from the same place and the effect it had on the rest of your career.
No, without a doubt. I mean, it was a special occasion. I think it actually brought both of the clubs together. The way the game panned out itself, you know, it was so hot pitch side. It was about 120 degrees. It was really difficult to play in. And it was maybe who wanted it that little bit more. We got ourselves in the lead just before 90 minutes, and then the same happened in extra time with Nicky Summerby's goal. And then, unfortunately, we know what came after that. It was the penalties, and it's just, you know, who's brave enough to go and walk up to that penalty spot? And whoever does it, full credit to them, you know, before me and after me. But the game itself, I think it's been voted at the old Wembley one of the top 10 And it was like a basketball game. It was end to end. It was every time he had an attack, it looked like somebody was going to score.
And there was your nemesis on the day, Sasa Ilic, returning today for this game. Chris, I just want to bring you in here. You joined Charlton after the playoff success, so they got all the hard work done, and you came in for the Premier League campaign.
Yeah, I came for all the glory, but I remember watching the game quite vividly, really, and I had no clue I was going to be joining Charlton at the time. It was just an amazing game, of course. You know, one of the all-time great games at Wembley. I'm sure if it was half that today, we'll be happy. It was just an enthralling game. I came in and you know, tried to add some Premier League experience. Unfortunately, we went down, came straight back up, and managed to stay in the Premier League for a number of seasons.
And it just goes to show how much it means to all the fans. I mean, today it feels like it's going to be packed, and again, it could be one of those finals that's talked about for years to come.
Absolutely. I mean, Charlton haven't been back here since. I know Sunderland have been here, the FA Cup, League Cup, and really, I've always wanted to see this, Charlton fans at Wembley, and I knew it'd be sold out. They could easily get 40, 50,000 here if they wanted to. So the potential has always been there. And, you know, today is such a big game for both sides because they'll see it as a step forward back to the glory days.
Certainly is a step in the right direction for the winning side. Let's take a look at the two teams that have been picked for today's game. Charlton, who make just one change from their semi-final second leg epic against Doncaster. In comes the experienced Darren Pratley, who scored the equaliser in that game. Top scorer Lyle Taylor leads the line once more, looking to add to his 25 goals this season. As for Sunderland, they're unchanged from their semi-final second leg against Portsmouth. Aidan McGeady is only fit enough for the bench. 6 of this starting 11 played in the Checkatrade Trophy final here just 56 days ago. Well, the two lineups then for the biggest game of the season. Let's get the thoughts of the men who picked the sides. Jack Ross and Lee Bowyer have been speaking to Jonathan Oakes.
You didn't manage to get the better of Sunderland during the course of the regular season, but do you feel like you've been building up to this moment?
Yeah, I think over the 2 games we played them, I think the away game, our side is completely different now. We're a different animal now to when we played them away. And when we played them at home, I felt that we was the better side. I've watched both them games on a number of times. So yeah, for me, we're a different side now.
You've already played at Wembley this season. It didn't go your way that day, but how do you use that to your advantage?
Well, I think just being familiar with surroundings. You can come here, you can see the stadium, but to experience it with a big crowd in it, you don't get that until you actually go and play on the pitch. And then beyond that, it increases your motivation not to leave here as losers again, because that is not a nice feeling. You know, we had that only a couple of months ago and we don't want that again.
How do you think the players will cope with the occasion today?
I don't know. I don't know. A lot of them have never been in this situation before, so I'm hoping that they grab it and they use it to their advantage, you know, because I've said to them, there are not many times that they're going to be playing back here at Wembley.
Everyone's talking about the classic playoff final between the two teams 21 years ago. It was certainly an open game that day. Can we expect anything similar today?
Well, having been here so recently and it going all the way to penalties, I'd prefer not to have a repeat of that, but ultimately it's about coming out in the right end of the result, and if that's what it takes, then so be it. Difficult to predict in terms of how open or tight the game will be. As I said earlier, I think it's just two teams that were very close to the regular season, and I would imagine that will show throughout the 90 or 120 minutes.
Well, Jack Ross mentioned it, Mickey's mentioned it already. The fact that Sunderland have been here already this season, yes, the loss, does that stand them in good stead?
Well, I see these two teams 50-50. I cannot call who's going to win it, but I think if you had a slight advantage, it's what Jack just mentioned there, you know, driving up to the Wembley Stadium, going into the dressing rooms, playing on this pitch where the Charlton players haven't really experienced that, so they've got that out of the way. They can now come and maybe relax just a little bit, but then what you have to think about is what's at the end of it. You know, do we want to stay in League One or do we actually want to get into the Championship? It's so difficult to call. It's 50-50 all the way for me.
And in contrast to Sunderland, Chris, it's the first time Charlton have been here. Yeah. So, again, does that favour them? The kind of innocence of coming here, not knowing what to expect. Lee mentioned the same thing. He's not been here to manage his side, has he?
No, that's right. And I know they came here on Thursday. They had a visit just to be familiar with the surroundings, the walk from the changing room onto the pitch. Of course, a bit different when there's 80,000 plus in the stadium. But of course, I think that may help them. They may just feed off the crowd, they may feed off the whole occasion instead of maybe being fixated with what's at the end of it. You know, Michael's quite right. There's a big prize at the end of it, and maybe Sunderland have that advantage of being here, going through the emotions. But Charlton, I feel, have had the better run the second half of the season, and I feel they've had that momentum, and hopefully if they can carry that on today, they might be in the Championship next year.
Well, of course, way back in 1998, these two sides met in one of the most iconic playoff finals ever seen at Wembley. And after the break, we'll take a look at who could be the heroes today.
Screwfix sponsors Sky Sports coverage of the EFL.
21 years after Charlton and Sunderland played out the most famous playoff final of them all. They meet again, this time in the Sky Bet League One playoff final. Could we be going to extra time and penalties once more? We'll soon find out. Kick-off is at 3 p.m. Chris Powell and Mickey Gray are alongside me. The atmosphere building nicely inside Wembley Stadium. We're looking towards the game now, Mickey. You say it's tough to call.
Yeah.
In someone like Chris Maguire, who scored the goal that got them to the final, have suddenly got a man that can really make the difference.
He's the physical presence. I think we've been crying out for that, maybe even since Josh Madger left the club. You know, we've made a couple of changes. Will Grigg came in. He hasn't really hit the ground running, unfortunately for him. So you're looking for somebody, that talisman, if you like, to put the ball in the back of the net. And it's all about big games. You know, you talk about the semi-finals of this playoff. You know, coming up with the goods. That's what we're looking for. Because, you know, all this wonderful football to get you up to the final third of the football field. If you're not putting the ball in the back of the net, it's a waste of time. It really is. So we need somebody to step up to the plate. Difficult and easier said than done, but this is the occasion. If you want to do it and make yourself a cult hero, these are the places that you've got to do that.
So that's up top, and knowing you two as defenders, a good goalkeeper behind you is imperative, isn't it, Chris? And John McLaughlin is someone that Sunderland can really rely on between the sticks.
He's been a very, very good signing for Sunderland. Very steady. Had a few clubs, but he's a serial promotion winner, and I believe it's possibly his third promotion in 4 or 5 years. But he's very steady, plenty of clean sheets. He's the reason for me, because I haven't scored loads of goals, but he's made sure if they've breached the back four, he's a very capable goalkeeper, possibly better than the level for me.
And from the bench, Mickey, Aidan McGeady, a lot's been made about the fitness of him coming towards the end of this season, but only fit enough for the bench, but undoubtedly an impact player in this game potentially.
Well, he's a game changer, Aidan. You know, we saw in the Checkatrade final and the ability that he's got. I was actually speaking to Chris off-air, and we believe he's probably the best player in League One. So you can read into the importance of him actually just being on the bench. You know, if you bring him on as an impact player for the last 25 minutes, what he can come up with, some great ability. We saw the free kicks that he's got, the goals that he scored this season, his assists. So I'm sure at some point that Jack's going to maybe try and get him onto the football field. And Aid will want to be a part of it. He'll want to be a part of these big occasions. You know, he's had some wonderful clubs in his career so far, and he wants to continue on that journey.
And certainly a player that's made an impact for Charlton this season. Lyle Taylor, 25 goals this season. Their top scorer, Chris. Their very own Mr. Cool. He comes to the ball, doesn't he, when the temperature is really on and the pressure's there.
He's some player. He really has taken to being the main man, the leader for Charlton this season. He's always scored goals at League One level for AFC Wimbledon, but he's just stepped up another gear this season. And it's not only his goals, he's shown real leadership, especially when the team has been struggling. You can see that he's almost another captain on the pitch. But he's definitely showed goal-scoring prowess all season. And like you say, if it comes to penalties today, I don't think we'll see a better, slower penalty taker than Lyle Taylor.
I was speaking to Lee Bauer just before we came on air, and I was speaking about Lyle Taylor, and I said, what was he like? And he said, you know, he's so level-headed. He said the ability that he's got is absolutely incredible. And I said, is it hard to keep all the players like that because of the situation at Charlton? He said, I spoke to him at the beginning of the season. He said, look, just give me the best year of your life. If you go when the season's finished, I'll hold my hands up and say that's fair enough, but just do the job in hand for me. And he's answered them. He's been absolutely incredible for him.
And when Lee said about not knowing what to expect from the game, he's got to make sure that he sends the team out completely relaxed, doesn't he, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, one thing about Lee, he's very honest, he's very straightforward, and that's been his style all season. He hasn't changed. We've seen him all today. He's not fazed by anything today, which I feel is really good because the team will feed off that.
Okay, so all boils down to this. One huge game away from the Sky Bet Championship, a day when dreams are made and legends are born.
This time is ours. It's in our hands. Despite the skies, look where we stand.
It's in! That is class! Wearside explodes! One giant step closer! Oh, it's a beauty! The stuff that memories and legends are made of. Footballers were born for days like this.
Screwfix sponsors Sky Sports coverage of the EFL.
Domino's, the official food of everything.
Screwfix sponsors Sky Sports coverage of the EFL.
We're at a packed Wembley Stadium this afternoon for the Sky Bet League One playoff final. A place in the Championship awaits the winner. It's Charlton against Sunderland, and kick-off is in just a few moments' time. Chris Powell and Mickey Gray are alongside me. Mickey, you said you can't choose between the teams too much, but who is under the more pressure?
It's very difficult, isn't it? I think when you've got, the Championship waiting for you, I think both sides will obviously feel the pressure, but I think the size of Sunderland, no disrespect to Charlton, I think they deserve to be in the Championship, but it's not a given. You've got to work hard for it.
For you, Chris?
Sunderland are under the most pressure because the expectation, especially after the last two seasons with successive relegations, I think they see this as a step forward again. But Charlton, they've been in League One for too long, and they need to get out.
It certainly was a thriller 21 years ago. We're hoping for more of the same here today. Your commentary team for this one, Doug Goodman, and first, Gary Weaver.
Yes, thank you, David. Was this destiny? When they were kept apart in the semi-finals, it looked to be written in the stars that Charlton and Sunderland would cross each other's path in the final. For Charlton, a chance to walk down memory lane and bask in the glory of one of the most iconic playoff finals in football. For Sunderland, it's time to face the demons. An atmosphere which sends a tingle down the spine. The sound of hope, the sound of anticipation. Anticipation of what may lie ahead, and fear of what may lie ahead. On to the teams, and it looks like Charlton are starting with a back three, with Christian Bielik moving from the base of a diamond into the back line. Lee Bowyer calls upon the experience of Darren Pratley in midfield. He's got 3 promotions on his CV. Lyle Taylor was in Sunderland in the summer, but he turned them down to sign for his local club. Charlton are glad he did. He scored 25 goals. Sunderland go with the same 11 which clinched their place at Wembley with a dogged display at Portsmouth. Grant Ledbetter showed great strength and courage to play in that game. It was the day after his mum Susan passed away. He has Sunderland in his heart and soul. It would mean so much to him to help the club back into the Championship. Aidan McGeady is fit enough to be on the Sunderland bench. Sean Harvey leading the presentation party on this red carpet occasion. Conor Grant, the Chief Operating Officer of Sky Betting and Gaming, alongside him. Spine-tingling inside here, Dom.
Unbelievable atmosphere, as we probably expected, really. I mean, this place is nearly packed to the rafters, and that's why you can talk all you want about it being just another game. It's not just another game, it's an occasion, and it's who will manage this occasion psychologically.
It is time for the national anthem, which will be sung by British soprano Laura Wright.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the national anthem, led by Laura Wright.
absolutely magical inside Wembley Stadium. We are watching here potential heroes. We are amongst the nerves, amongst the tension. For some, it's the biggest game of their lives. One is about to write their legend. Wembley will decide their fate. It will decide their destiny. Charlton Athletic against Sunderland for a place in the Championship is next.
Oh, nice. Free bet. What do you reckon?
No brainer, mate. No brainer, mate.
Nobody no-brainers the hunch. Free bet time. Brain cells, go.
Bookings.
3.2 much average. I like it.
Both teams to score.
78% chance. Now we're talking.
Corners.
10.5 per game.
No team beginning with C has ever beaten.
I'll take it from here. Look and learn.
Heed your hunch with Betway's Free Bet Club. Put £25 on multiples for £10 in weekly free bets.
We are live at Wembley Stadium. Charlton against Sunderland about to get underway. Eyes on Joe Aribo. His deal is up in the summer. Scouts are clamouring to watch him. What is it about him, Don, that's attracting them?
Well, in a word, Gary, everything, to be honest with you. I love his attitude. He's an athletic player. He can pass, he can run with the ball and beat. He can score goals and create. He's got the lot, really. And Charlton, well, the only hope, really, of having any chance of keeping him is for them to win here this afternoon.
Well, John McLaughlin kept Portsmouth at bay when he was called upon in the second leg at Fratton Park. And after what happened with Sunderland last season, how key was it that they brought a goalkeeper in of his quality?
Well, people talk about strikers being the match winners, but you know what? Goalkeepers can also be match winners. And he was a match winner in the semi-final, and he may well prove to be decisive should Sunderland go on and prevail. He is, without question, one of the best goalkeepers in League One.
Madley is the referee. He is never afraid to make big decisions, as you can see. He's the man in charge here this afternoon.
Number 6, Lee Battermore.
21 years on, the names of Charlton Athletic and Sunderland light up the Wembley scoreboard again. This place has changed a bit. The faces have changed. It is time for the sequel.
Number 12, Tom Flanagan.
And Don, when you think about this game, you look ahead to this game, it's so tight to call, but the way Charlton have come through the crowd to finish third, what we saw from Sunderland, that dogged display to manage the game at Portsmouth, which way do you think? What will decide it? What will decide it for you?
I have no idea. You know what? They are so evenly matched. It could be a set piece, it could be a moment of magic like Chris Maguire produced. His team definitely finished the season for me as the best team in League One, but just the other Friday night against Doncaster Rovers has just given me nagging doubts. His players cannot afford those nagging doubts.
Well, the Sunderland fans have torn themselves away from Trafalgar Square and Covent Garden. They've made it to Wembley. The Charlton fans, a much shorter journey, of course, up the Jubilee line from South London to the most famous place in football. The waiting is almost over. Away we go in the League One playoff final. Two clubs who've fallen on hard times. Two clubs who look to be on their way back. First run of the game here for Lyle Taylor, looking for Parker in the middle. Coolly dealt with by John McLaughlin. Well, a couple of fouls there. The referee has played the advantage. This is Joe Aribo. Purrington on the front foot. There's Taylor, who just runs out of pitch. I think it's Max Bauer who remains down for Sunderland.
It's not a good sign, you know. He's not the kind of player that will stay down unless he is hurt. Barely moved. At least he's talking now, but he is not happy with challenge. Came in on him, in embers, passions running high. To say there isn't anything wrong with it. You would expect Naby Sarr to come and try and win the ball. That's exactly what the Charlton centre-half did.
So the first real concern of the game here for Sunderland, and it concerns the fitness of Max Bauer, who has really come back to form as the season has approached its finish. A little bit concerned because he's gone with that same midfield that really managed and controlled that second leg at Fratton Park and got the job done against Portsmouth. So you will be hoping that that is nothing too serious.
Just to confirm, in terms of Charlton's setup, it does appear to be a back three, which Lee Bowyer has gone with here. Now, normally when he plays a back three, it's because maybe when he goes to a diamond, the fullbacks really have to get forward and play with width. And maybe he feels they can't really do that today, or whether the space will be exploited in behind those fullbacks if he goes with a 4 in the diamond. So it's a 3 which he switches to on those occasions.
I'm really curious to see how that pans out, because obviously they're up against a lone striker in Charlie Wyke, and that picture there tells you that they will massively outnumber Sunderland, and they're back in their defensive shape. But will that be to the detriment of extra bodies further up the pitch? We will see. It's good to have that flexibility, isn't it?
Well, one thing is for sure about Lee Bowyer, he likes to play with 2 strikers, no matter which system he's going with. He always likes to get 2 strikers on the pitch, as he has here with Parker and also Lyle Taylor. Max Power is back with us. Parker trying to leave his calling card. Flanagan telling McLaughlin to come for it. McLaughlin retreats and Flanagan deals with it.
Those early touches, they will want to get midfield 3 on the ball just to get an early feel of it. Keep the ball off Charlton, who have been in the goals, haven't they? That's the one thing you can say about Charlton. Lots of goals towards the end of the season, yet they were the lowest scorers in the top 6.
This is Max Power for Sunderland, looking for Chris Maguire. Ledbetter. The experienced Brian Oviedo stepping out of trouble. Power again, looking for the Sunderland captain, George Honeyman. Wyke is at the far post. Driven in by Honeyman. There's Chris Maguire, he sends it back goalwards. And Phillips was guarding his near post.
A good start by Sunderland, getting the ball out in those wide areas. We can expect an awful lot of this when you've got Charlie Wyke in the middle to aim for. You've got to get the ball out wide and get crosses into a dangerous area. Forced to Maguire. Always a big ask, wasn't it, to score from there.
Well, that's problematic. It's a huge problem. Charlton Athletic cannot believe it. Dylan Phillips looks at Naby Sarr. Look at the Charlton fans behind the goal. Look at Lee Bowyer. What a place to make a mistake like that. Sunderland have hit the front in quite extraordinary circumstances.
Oh, that is just unbelievable. I don't think I can believe what I've just seen, other than I'm seeing it again. I mean, my goodness me. That is heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. The goalkeeper just totally misjudges it. Wow.
Of all the places, of all the times, there's no hiding place at Wembley.
I don't really apportion blame on Naby Sarr, to be honest with you, and neither will Dylan Phillips. He knows, and he will pray. Look at his face. He will pray that that is not the decisive moment here this afternoon. Remarkable.
You can plan for a final, but you cannot plan for that.
You can't. Big 5-10 minutes, isn't it, coming up for Charlton? How are they going to respond? If there is any positive whatsoever to take from it, is that there is plenty of time to repair the damage. Imagine if that had happened in the last minute of the game. Different story. We spoke about goalkeepers, didn't we? We spoke about goalkeepers being a hero. Mark goes out to Dylan Phillips.
Well, he has to clear his head. Charlton Athletic collectively have to clear their heads here. But a moment of pure luck for Sunderland, whose luck is normally out when they come to Wembley. Here they come again with White, big appeal for handball, waved away by the referee. Looks like Power is down again inside the Charlton penalty area. Sunderland are carrying on. An incredible start here at Wembley. Maguire. Oviedo. Power's back on his feet. Oviedo's cross. Naby Sarr gets the ball away.
Clearly rattled Charlton Athletic. They have to regain their composure.
Probably exactly what Dylan Phillips was expecting. A reaction there from the Sunderland fans. But plenty of time, as Dom mentioned, to repair the damage here for Charlton, but as Max Power goes down again, Sunderland have had the best possible start here in terms of hitting the front. However, this is a concern.
I think Max Power's afternoon may be over. First big decision for Andy Madley to have to make as Charlie White strikes this. They want a penalty, but, well, I have to say it would have been harsh. I don't think that Bauer can get out of the way of that. It's struck with such ferocity. Very close, instantly waved away by Andy Madley.
Well, he's absolutely gutted there is Max Power. He would have been so lifted by hearing news that Tranmere Rovers, his former club, winning promotion on this patch of grass yesterday, but it looks like his playoff final is coming to a premature end.
Such an innocuous challenge as well, wasn't it?
On in his place comes Lewis Morgan. He's on loan at Sunderland from Celtic. Won promotion under Jack Ross with St Mirren last season. He's a winger by trade. Max Power was playing as the most advanced of the Sunderland midfield trio, so we just wait to see whether it will be the same system or whether there will be a slight tweak here. What is it about these two at Wembley?
Good grief. Again, Charlton giving the ball away. They've got to find a way of settling down here.
Here is Morgan. White's in the middle. Bauer's there to meet it and smashed away by Naby Sarr. There's Ledbitter, stopped in his tracks by Pratley, doing what he's in there to do. Oviedo has Maguire on this side. Maguire's cross. Couldn't pick out a Sunderland player. But Darren Pratley, you can see him there gesturing to his teammates, calm down.
Yeah, they just haven't settled at all. We're nearly 10 minutes in, and of course this is not going to help the nerves, is it really? You want a goalkeeper to be assured, and it's just horrific, and my heart honestly goes out to Dylan Phillips. It's a nightmare for him, absolute nightmare. He can't believe it. I think he turned away to get back up the pitch.
Well, you can see Lee Bowyer in the background almost drop to his knees as he saw that unfold in front of him.
Like I said, psychologically, I wondered if they would have been affected by what Doncaster Rovers did to them that Friday evening. Well, there is hope and optimism. You have to take every positive that you can, because the only team better at turning games around when they concede first is Sunderland. So there is optimism, but he needs to see his team settle down here.
But Sunderland will take gifts like that all day long. Morgan's cross. Charlie White. White having a look and then leaving it to Ledbitter! And Phillips comes over with a big save and may well feel a whole lot better for that.
Well, I just wondered if the ball was going wide, but I'm looking at Grant Ledbitter's reaction. Hands on head, it's a decent strike, comes through bodies, and it's going to find the bottom corner. Now that is an excellent save, and hopefully that will make Dylan Phillips feel a little tiny bit better. Because for me, Charlton Athletic cannot afford to concede the next goal in this game.
Sunderland have got Charlton cornered, and Dylan Phillips has plenty of company on his goal line. Catamol with that run towards the near post. We've seen that a few times this season, over his head that time though. It is the second time that Sunderland have invaded London inside 2 months, and this time Jack Ross believes his team can focus more on the match, because they had the occasion when they lost the Checkatrade Trophy final here on penalties to Portsmouth at the end of March. And the more you come here, the more you get used to the environment, and the more you can actually concentrate on the pitch, on the match.
It's all psychology, isn't it? Now you ask Shrewsbury Town about coming here a few weeks before. They came, didn't they? Checkatrade Trophy final. It didn't help their cause, but he truly believes that it will have helped Sunderland just adapt themselves to this occasion.
Luke O'Nien, who's done so well in an unnatural position for him at right back for Sunderland in the second half of the season. He took that throw, but Charlton get themselves a free kick.
It looks like a 4 in midfield, doesn't it, since Lewis Morgan has come on the pitch. Honeyman looking to play off Charlie Wyke further forward in support of the striker. It's been a little tweak.
All the talk in the build-up to this game was of what happened in '98, and Sasa Ilic being the hero in the Charlton goal just shows you, doesn't it, the life of goalkeepers. At the moment, eyes on Dylan Phillips in the Charlton goal for different reasons, but he'll get through it. He's a strong character. He's been at the club since the age of 8. Bit of stealing in. There is Sasa Ilic. As soon as Charlton beat Doncaster on penalties, within minutes he was booking his flight from Montenegro, where he owns a boutique hotel these days, to make sure that he could be here.
He wouldn't have expected that, would he? Highly rated goalkeeper. It's a basic error in the opening exchanges. Has put Charlton on the back foot. Of that there is no doubt. I haven't yet seen a response from them. I haven't seen the Charlton that was so impressive throughout certainly the second half of the season.
By the way, in terms of the whistle's gone a long time ago, so Charlton will have a goal kick again. Andy Madley just having a word though with Darren Pally. It's O'Nien who's down. Some of the players haven't quite heard the whistle go.
You can understand emotions are high. Wants to get the ball back, does it in a way that, well, perhaps shouldn't, but there must be so much frustration out there in the red shirts.
There is Pratley. Purrington.
Change the
the flow of this game. Charlton Athletic attacking players have barely had a kick so far. One-way traffic, really.
Well, when Sunderland were last here a few weeks ago in the Checkatrade Trophy final, they played really well for the opening hour, and then Portsmouth came over the hill in the last half hour to force it into extra time and penalties. And Portsmouth walked away with the trophy, but Sunderland for the first hour certainly did not have any regrets with the performance that they showed. That's Cullen. Purrington unable to keep the ball in play. I was about to say before, by the way, Sasa Ilic in that penalty shootout towards the end of penalties, he found a 10-pence coin and he started flicking it, and if it was heads he'd go left, if it was tails he'd go right, and that's how he made his mind up to save Michael Graves' penalty with a flick of the coin.
It's slightly different these days, isn't it, with iPads and studying the flick of a coin. Interesting technique. Certainly worked back then.
Good thing is no one has mentioned it to Michael Gray at all this week.
Smiling
at the moment.
The one thing you know about football, you can't count your chickens. Some recent weeks have shown us that.
Honeyman hunting down Cullen. Phillips, who has been working on his distribution, picked up the pass there to find Purrington. There's Aribo, who will drive forward if given the opportunity. Pratley, Aribo again. Dijksteel. Aribo, trying to feed it through to Lyle Taylor. The avenue was cut off, but this is Pratley. Charlton looking to try and build some rhythm here.
First time really in the game that they've had any controlled, meaningful possession in that Sunderland final third. Aribo heavily involved there as well. Very, very important.
Here he is again. Left on the floor by Lee Catamol, but he is just beginning to have a bit of an influence. Here's Joe Aribo.
So they were so shell-shocked. Barely had a touch of the ball. That's in the last 2 minutes.
Played under Marcus Gale at Staines. It was Marcus Gale who put a call into Jason Ewell at Charlton and said you need to look at Joe Aribo. And aren't they glad he did? They can be quite inventive with their set pieces, can Charlton? As we saw against Doncaster at the Valley, and as we've seen plenty of times this season. What's up their sleeve here? Taylor leaves it, Aribo leaves it, lifted in by Cullen. The flag's gone up.
Oh, nice idea. Just didn't quite get the timing right. I'm sure Sunderland would have perhaps been expecting a strike at goal here. Tight one, isn't it? But how brilliant a decision is that from the assistant? Absolutely spot on.
It's Johnny Jackson and Andy Marshall who work on the set pieces. Bauer on the training ground just stands at the side and watches.
There have been signs of life, haven't they, the last 2-3 minutes from Charlton, a little bit more like it from their perspective.
Bielik. It's Cullen. This is Taylor. Cullen again, away from Honeyman. Aribo. Pratley's made the run forward here, in behind Sunderland. Aribo. O'Nien looking to stand his ground, digs his heels in, and comes out on top.
Excellent defending, to say. Perhaps Joe Aribo should have been getting the cross in there. Had an opportunity, Good defending by Luke O'Nien.
Purrington attacking that with O'Nien. O'Nien again. He's just pulled up after that challenge. Pratley, who was close to him. A difficult day on the opening day when these two met at the Stadium of Light. Did Luke O'Nien in his more natural midfield position. Didn't really re-emerge again until the right-back role became available, but he's really grabbed that role with both hands. Morgan. O'Nien again. There's Lee Catamol.
Just looking at that shape of Charlton, I'm really not seeing the benefit of playing with a three. Just to say there at least one defender that's redundant, not actually doing anything.
Taylor leading the charge upfield, looking for Parker. Great work right there from Chris Maguire, who tracked him all the way back and made sure he brought the shutters down.
It's good defending, but that has just given a lift to those Charlton athletic supporters. They've been stunned, absolutely stunned with the opening to this game. Cause for optimism the last 5 minutes, I would say.
Well, it's another set piece. Taylor is standing just behind John McLaughlin, who's drawing the referee's attention to what's going on. Charlton have players poised on the edge of the penalty area. They make their moves now. In it goes from Cullen. Bauer got his head on it. They couldn't direct it on target. Well, he's enjoyed having another clear week to coach his players. That's what he enjoys doing, Jack Ross. It hasn't been that way at all for him this season. They've had a game every few days, and it's the first time as a manager he's had to experience that, which has meant just one full training session between games.
Yeah, well, 60 games compared to what he's been used to in Scotland is an enormous amount of games, and like you're saying, very little time to get on the training pitch and implement your ideas, really. It's all come down to this.
He's getting used to the grind now. There's Charlie Wyke. Bitter again, and Catamol was sniffing.
He wasn't too far away from that, Lee Catamol. As I say, that shape that Charlton have adopted, for me, it's allowing Sunderland to commit men even further forward.
Patrick Bauer. Christian Bielik. The busy Josh Cullen, who continues his run. There's Pratley. Pratley again. Looking for Taylor, who once again has pulled out wide. That's what he likes to do. Lee Bowyer likes his strikers to pull centre-backs, trying to pull them around, to pull them out of position.
And that's the benefit of playing two of them. You can do that knowing that there's another striker in the penalty area.
Max Power back out from the Sunderland dressing room on crutches. Not a good sight to see the Sunderland fans. Cullen with the corner. Dyke-Steele. Forward by Aribo. Naby Sarr was waiting, taken away from him though. Smashed away by Flanagan, but here comes Charlton again. And it's Christian Bielik.
the moment. When he closed his eyes last night, he was probably dreaming about time after time. He would have dreamt it nestling in the top corner. Just a diagonal ball. Sunderland don't deal with it. That is a very decent effort. I have to say, it's not an easy opportunity. Gets a pure strike on it, just can't keep it down.
Ultimately, the reason that Lyle Taylor didn't sign for Sunderland in the summer was that he wanted to play for Lee Bowyer. Local boy strutting his stuff for Charlton Athletic. At the other end, though, this is Morgan. Dagsteel got back at him and timed it perfectly. Now Taylor. Oviedo pulling down Lyle Taylor, just using all his experience, Brian Oviedo.
I think Jack Ross will be absolutely thrilled with it. You can see the sheer commitment of his players when they're out of possession of the ball, desperate to put Charlton under pressure. Say Lee Bowyer, like I said, it's the most horrific of starts. They were being forced back, but certainly the last 10 minutes it's a bit more what he would have hoped for, really. Asking questions of that Sunderland defence in that final third. Getting an awful lot of set-piece opportunities as well. Haven't so far managed to take advantage, but there's an area that they do excel in.
Yeah, as I mentioned, they take great care in planning for these set pieces. Aribo and Cullen standing over this one. Aribo moves away. Now will he take the free kick or leave it to Cullen? It goes in from Cullen. Good handling for John McLaughlin. But of course, we did see Aribo and Cullen come up with a similar move, which led to a goal against Doncaster at the Valley.
Yeah, a bit of kidology.
Squad did come to Wembley for a tour on Thursday. Most of them came up on the train from South London to have a look. While Lee Bowyer didn't think it maybe would help massively, he says it wouldn't do any harm in just showing them around. But of course, they were hit early on here by a mistake that you just cannot legislate for. He's also told them the pitch is only 3 yards wider and longer than what they have at the Valley, so that's 1.5 yards each side and at each end.
Shouldn't make any difference, should it, really?
Cast your mind back to the opening day at the Stadium of Light. Jack Ross lengthened the Sunderland pitch and forgot to tell his players. And at half-time they came in and said, pitch seems a little bit bigger. Oh yes, that's because it is.
Forgot to mention that.
O'Neill. Well committed by Lee Cattermole. Dagsteel. Dagsteel again. Lyle Taylor looking to spin into space. Another Charlton set piece.
Very, very nearly gets the wrong side of Oviedo, but the fullback recovered well. Delivery, they haven't quite got the delivery right on the set pieces so far.
Bauer, Sarr, two of those who are waiting, and Josh Parker, but over his head.
Once again, opportunity missed.
that he's not given his teammates even a chance of getting on the end of that. Must do better.
O'Neill. Some were roared off the train when they arrived at King's Cross yesterday afternoon. Stayed at one of the hotels just behind us here at Wembley. It was a quiet night for them. Anything but quiet for the boisterous Sunderland fans who once again took over Trafalgar Square and Covent Garden. It's what they do.
Absolutely.
And with Sunderland's record at Wembley recently, it's better to have the party the night before. Well, who knows?
Yeah.
Things could change here today.
Another 1973 moment, don't they? That is what they're after. They've been given a helping hand so far. There is still an awful long way to go here.
We have lost all 7 visits since that famous day.
Into similar mode to what they were in at Fratton Park, Sunderland, so they've got the lead. And now they're in solid, not spectacular mode. Let's be strong and organised and disciplined in our work. Just remind yourself, they are one of the hardest teams to beat in the entire Football League. And there's a reason for that. Standing record, and it is a habit, learning not to lose. And now keep a clean sheet, and they've been decent at that. They're going to the Championship.
Taken away from Aribo, who is on the approach. Goes to it with a vital touch. Dijksteel, Aribo, Taylor. Aribo again, Lyle Taylor pulling wide again. Is this the chance? It is the chance, and it's the goal that they craved. Purrington arriving. A huge sigh of relief from Dylan Phillips, but Charlton did not walk away. They responded in the best possible way.
Well, this is the Charlton that we have learned to know. Into play, their key players, Aribo, Taylor, linking up brilliantly. Lovely little flick in there, and then Taylor puts the ball into an area that, as a striker himself, he would want the ball delivered. It's a wonderful goal, and it's the simplest of finishes for Ben Purrington at the far post, and game well and truly back on. And the most relieved man in Wembley Stadium, Dylan Phillips. He will be cheering the loudest right now.
There will be a pat on the back and maybe a hug at half-time if it remains this way, or maybe gets even better for Charlton. But once again at Wembley, Sunderland striking first and then conceding.
I said, didn't I? I felt that Sunderland had gone into we hold what we have mode, really.
That's Morgan. Mood changer.
What is it about these two teams at Wembley Stadium? Serving it up.
Oviedo. That's a play from Dijksteel. Ben Purrington's first goal for Charlton Athletic. What a bad place to get it. There's Morgan. How can Sunderland lift themselves here? Josh Parker, who was racing in on that cross as well. He still craves his first goal for Charlton Athletic.
That's a brilliant delivery, and Lyle Taylor, you said about him drifting out wide, and he knew exactly where he wanted to put that ball, where he would want that, were he in the middle, and he delivered.
Pratley. It's like think it's almost pressed a reset button for Charlton. Purrington having to stretch.
Sunderland were winning the game, but they haven't really had to do anything to be winning the game. That's the worry. They've now got to pick themselves up and find a creative spark.
Could it be turning into one of those playoff finals again? It's got plenty to live up to match what happened 21 years ago in terms of the drama.
Well, there's the message. We need you now, come on, because they're getting right behind their team.
Sunderland corner.
Well, the one thing we know, the last of the drama is yet to come one way or another.
Lee Catamol again, lurking in the 6-yard box. Wants to make a dash towards the near post. Try and move the ball on with his head or move it goalwards. Charlton aware of the threat. There's that run again from Catamol. It's gone beyond him though. Charlie White was in the mix and the referee has seen a foul.
Oh, Charlie White was all over the back of Lyle Taylor. Forearm in the back of Taylor's head, trying to ease him out the way, and not going to get away with that. Look, referee is not going to let Charlie White away with that.
Well, they'll be hoping this is not going to be deja vu. Scoring first, but leaving Wembley with nothing. And the Sunderland players cannot afford to have that kind of mentality.
They've just got to find an attacking spark. Haven't seen it yet from Sunderland. They've been solid from the goal.
Oviedo with the offer on this near side, and Morgan's found him, and Taylor slid in, sold himself. Oviedo's away from him, but he forces the corner.
They did have options. Grant Ledbetter on the edge of the area. Had a word with him.
Flanagan being followed by Lyle Taylor, who's being followed by O'Nien. Wyke and Catamol in that crowd scene as well. Ledbetter, Phillips comes for it and gets a hand on it.
He'll be feeling a whole heap better, won't he? Important save he made when the score was at 1-0 from Ledbetter. Let's remind ourselves of that.
But Sunderland responding to their setback. Morgan to O'Nien. Honeyman. O'Nien driven in low and sent away by Naby Sarr. Referee has blown for the foul. He's been heavily involved so far.
Experienced man, isn't he? I think Lee Bauer is asking the fourth official, Peter Batch, how on earth can that not be a yellow card? I think he has got a point. Turk was very, very cynical in his challenge on Pratley.
Oviedo trying to pull back Lyle Taylor, but the flag has gone up against Taylor.
What a place to get your first goal. Absolutely brilliant delivery from Taylor. He's in there, isn't he? Sniffing it out, the wing back. Gets his just rewards.
up in the air, and his future's up in the air, as are many of the players out there wearing Charlton shirts this afternoon.
That's the thing, isn't it? We're talking about before the game, who needs it most, who needs promotion most? Well, they both do, is the simple answer, but for very different reasons. This Charlton team will probably be dismantled should they not go and get promoted here.
Purrington on loan from Rotherham. Sunderland on the approach again here, away by Bielik. Paul Vaughan has said that Purrington is welcome to return to New York, the New York Stadium in the summer. He has 1 year left on his deal. Try and resurrect his Rotherham career. At the moment, though, Purrington will be heading in different directions, with Charlton having the opportunity of promotion to the Championship here this afternoon. Flanagan. Bauer getting there ahead of Chris Maguire.
They definitely have settled down a bit, haven't they, Sunderland now? Pass the ball a little bit better. A bit more time in the Charlton half.
Chris Maguire. The advantage has been played. Honeyman's cross is blocked. Ledbitter. George Honeyman again. Upended by Naby Sarr, and a card should be on the way here for the Charlton centre-back. It certainly is.
And again, I think Lee Bowyer is going to Peter Banks, the assistant, the fourth official. It's the same kind of challenge.
Making his point. Same foul as what he just mouthed there. Lee Bowyer. Can Sunderland take advantage of this set piece? Flanagan on this side of the penalty area. Ali Mosturk, his centre-back partner, just in front of him. What is in their mind here? It's left to Morgan and Maguire. Swung in by Morgan, but over the top.
He won't win the next argument over one of those.
We'll have 3 additional minutes at the end of what has been a lively first 45 minutes at Wembley. Charlton, who ultimately finished 3rd in League One, came through the crowd to win 8 of their final 10. Sunderland finishing in 5th position. The target set for Jack Ross by the board was to finish in the top 6. So we achieved that. Bielik. Pratley. This is Morgan. Able to move away from Naby Sarr.
It's good that he's running at him, isn't it? Really trying to commit him. Defender on a yellow card. You say get the ball and run at him every time you have the chance.
As I mentioned, one promotion under Jack Ross at St Mirren last season. Lewis Morgan, which earned him his move to Celtic. Ledbitter. Maguire. Ledbitter again. O'Nien. Morgan. Away by Aribo. Sunderland looking to finish the half strongly. Steel in strongly.
Dressing room, as players, there's a togetherness, and there has needed to be, and I think that they will go into half-time the happier of the two teams, given the circumstances. They were absolutely shell-shocked for the opening 15 minutes of this game. Managed to recover, give themselves a fighting chance.
That's Flanagan. Charlie White trying to stand his ground. Leaving the line again here this afternoon ahead of Will Grigg as he looks to try and build a platform for Sunderland. But what is it about Charlton and Sunderland on Wembley so that they produce moments of drama? Dylan Phillips wanted Wembley to open up and swallow it up after a mistake in the opening few minutes, and Sarr own goal, a back pass which went past the keeper. But then Purrington levelled up as Charlton rallied, and at the break of Wembley, Charlton won, Sunderland won.
Screwfix sponsors Sky Sports coverage of the EFL.
Welcome back, 1-0 here at half-time in the League One playoff final between Charlton and Sunderland. Chris Powell and Mickey Gray are alongside me for this. We talk about infamous moments in the biggest games, Mickey. Dylan Phillips, the Charlton goalkeeper, will have nightmares about this, won't he?
No, absolutely. I mean, it wasn't the start that he wanted. I mean, there's no pressure on. Sarr picks the ball up here. You know, a couple of little passes grown themselves into the game. What worries me is, you know, he just has a little look across to his shoulder to see where, you know, Phillips is, and he doesn't. It's a quick look, but there's too much pace on it. You know, when you're playing it back towards the goal, you don't put it towards anywhere near that channel. Across the goal, and then it gives Phillips the opportunity just to put his foot on the ball, calm everybody down, and then just clear his lines. I mean, that's criminal. There's so many errors in that move there. I mean, it should not happen so early on in the game as well.
So, Chris, I mean, where does the blame lie? Is it a bit of both, goalkeeper and defender?
I'm leaning towards Sarr because he's in control of the situation. And like Mickey said, it's a quick look. It's not a proper look, knowing exactly where Dylan is standing. He's in the middle of his goal, so he should either put it on his left foot to give him enough time to put it onto his right foot, or nice and slow. Even the pace of the ball is not great. You know, it's too hard.
In that one, Mickey, are you blaming Sarr there for the back
You've got
pass?
to, because, I mean, you look at the position he's in there. There's no pressure on Phillips in that 18-yard box. It's a simple little pass back to him. There's too much pace on it, like Chris just mentioned there before. Just calm everything down. I don't know what he's thinking. I really don't know what he's thinking. Yes, of course, it's Sarr's problem there, but you've got to look at Phillips and think, have I taken my eye off the ball here? You know, yes, it's got a lot of pace on it, but, you know, get yourself in a position where you can put your foot in front of the ball and then control it, and after that, you know, the panic's over.
I suppose if Dylan Phillips and Ben Purrington weren't too close before the game, they could be best friends now, because he is the man that's drawn Charlton level, isn't he, Chris?
Absolutely. To be fair to Charlton, they were a bit shell-shocked after the goal, but they got themselves into it. They won the second ball. Cullen's been very, very good. Dick Steele, who's been a good outlet, good ball to Aribo, but he follows the ball, Dick Steele, and then it's this touch here, and then Taylor putting it in first time. Any defender will tell you, if you're facing your own goal, it's a tough ball to defend. And Purrington gets on the inside of Chris Maguire, who puts his hand up looking for offside, but you've got to follow the man. Great goal.
What a time really to score your first goal in a Charlton shirt for Ben Purrington, leaving this very nicely balanced at half-time in this League One playoff final. Charlton won, Sunderland won. They got off to the worst possible start, the Addicts. But Dylan Phillips and Sarr will be mightily relieved that Ben Purrington brought them back on level terms going into the second half, which is coming up next.
Screwfix sponsors Sky Sports coverage of the EFL.
Well, that's problematic. It's a huge problem. Sunderland have hit the front in quite extraordinary circumstances. Aribo again. Lyle Taylor pulling wide again. Is this the chance? It is the chance, and it's the goal that they craved. Charlton did not walk away. They responded in the best possible way.
Well, we may be almost at the climax of another thrilling domestic season, but don't worry, there's plenty of football here for you over the summer on Sky Sports. Gareth Southgate takes his England side over to Portugal for the Nations League finals, June the 5th to the 9th for that one. Qualifying for next year's Euros is well underway. More of those live for you from the 5th to the 11th. Eddie Boothroyd's Young Lions will be in Italy for the Under-21 European Championships. Semi-finalists last time out, looking to go one better. And the Asia Trophy in July gives the likes of Manchester City the chance to build up to another season of high-octane Premier League action. Sunderland fans may be in unwanted familiar territory here at Wembley. They took the lead against Portsmouth in the Checkatrade Trophy back in March, but went on to lose on penalties in that one. They'll be hoping history is about to repeat itself. Second half is coming next.
The transfer window is now.
Welcome back, and with news of a change, your commentary team, Don Goodman and Gary Weaver.
Yes, thank you, David. Jason Pearce has replaced Naby Sarr at half-time for Charlton. Naby Sarr, who was on a yellow card, replaced at half-time. We will get news as to whether that is tactical or he's picked up a knock. But Jason Pearce, hugely experienced, is on for the second half for Charlton.
It'll be interesting, isn't it, to see Lee Bowyer perseveres. It just looks at the moment as if Bielik has started the second half in front of the other two central defenders, so it looks like they've gone back to a back four to me.
Yeah, it's a diamond. Back four with a diamond and a front two. That's the way Charlton have reshaped in the second half. That is the way they've been playing for most of the season under Lee Bowyer.
I felt their spare man, the three at the back, they weren't using it. There was almost a player that was not actually doing anything, not marking anybody, not getting involved in the game. That makes a lot more practical sense to me.
We're getting news it was a tactical change, so as we just mentioned, maybe the yellow card played a part, maybe the change in shape, but Jason Pearce on the pitch for Charlton Athletic in place of Naby Sarr. Bauer with the header away. That's Aribo. Cullen, who's had a really impressive season for Charlton. Pratley left floored by O'Nien.
Well, he was the one, wasn't he, Cullen? Almost after that 15 minutes of shell-shocked football, he was the one that grabbed the game and started getting on the ball and making things happen, forcing his teammates to pass the ball with purpose.
This is Ledbetter. He rejoined his boyhood club in January. O'Nien. This is Morgan, the first half substitute for the injured Max Power. Talking of changes, let's not forget that these two clubs both lost their leading scorers in January. Colin Grant was picked off by Huddersfield. 14 goals he scored for Charlton, and Sunderland lost Josh Maja, who was on less than £1,000 a week before he left. He'd scored 16 goals and he went to Bordeaux. And Jack Ross believes if Josh Maja would have stayed, then he may well have hit the 25 goal mark this season for Sunderland. So they both had to readjust. Lee Bowyer said it was like starting again when Colin Grant left the Valley.
I would agree with that sentiment, I really would, in terms of Josh Maja. I think it really impacted Sunderland. They didn't have anybody with that pace and movement. He's in amongst the goals, could have made the difference, and
Losing Carl and Grant, like you say, to start again, almost Lee Bowyer, but certainly the second half of the season from Charlton was outstanding.
The goal scorer today, Purrington. Parker, and the foul by O'Neill. Oviedo. That's Flanagan. John McLaughlin taking his time. Not the goalkeeper's favourite end of the pitch at the moment. McLaughlin again. He's a steady, calm influence.
Really has. That wasn't an easy back pass that Oster just gave him. Goalkeeper dealt with it.
McLaughlin on his toes.
Once again, Oster, he laid hands on Joe Aribo, but very, very quickly took them away. There you go, let's go. Just at the right time. Say, probably doesn't halt Aribo's momentum.
There probably is a certain amount of time that you have in the referee's eyes before you have to let go.
That does defend like that. We've seen it this season. First to putting his arms around and pulling shirts. It is a risk that you run as a defender.
Well, we had a shaky start to life at Sunderland. Was out of the picture for a while, but has re-emerged at the back end of the season to play a big part, has Alim Öztürk. His head on it. Lyle Taylor picks himself up as Dijksteel gets involved on the far side for Charlton. Taylor again draws in the foul and gets the free kick.
Charlton asking the question about a yellow card. It have been set for yellow cards, and intents and purposes, you have to say, Catamol is very lucky, and that is, I'm absolutely certain, the question that Lee Bowyer is asking Peter Banks, the fourth official.
A 15-minute break from him, didn't he, Peter Banks? Lee Bowyer at half-time. Collins free kick. Bauer who rose. Flanagan has stayed down. Well, Stuart Donald bought Sunderland a year ago. He's always said he will look for others from outside to invest in the club, and we're hearing that here today is Mark Campbell, an US-based investor who is very interested in investing further money into Sunderland, and Sunderland will need further money if they are to make it into the Championship, because the budget will have to increase, the wages will increase. So we're hearing that Mark Campbell, a potential investor in Sunderland, is here watching at Wembley today.
Good news if you're connected with Sunderland. To say they took over a broken club, didn't they, a year ago? An awful lot to repair some of that damage, and certainly get the fans back on side. Very important.
Which used to spend £1,000 a month on hiring plastic plants at Sunderland. That's what was happening under the previous regime. One of many things, of course, that was happening. But let's not forget that Edda Short, the previous owner, invested a lot of money into Sunderland Football Club. A huge amount, £250 million. He put his money into the club, but did not get the reward he was looking for. Here's Taylor again, who's pulled out wide for Charlton. It's a really good challenge on him by Flanagan.
Very important defending from Tom Flanagan.
Purrington. Hearing that Will Grigg is being readied by Jack Ross, so another Sunderland change appears to be imminent.
It's going to be interesting to see which way Jack Ross goes. To say, from the start of the second half, it's been Charlton that have had the nearly moments. Haven't really seen any from Sunderland to change that.
Morgan. Maguire looking to make an impact. We're hearing it will be him who will make way shortly. I wonder if he knows. Maguire sends that cross in. And Morgan just couldn't quite sort his feet out.
Well, I said at the start of this game that Sunderland will get the ball wide and get crosses in. It hasn't really happened, but look what happens when they do. Of course, Charlton problems. He just can't sort his feet out there. Lewis Morgan tries to get the touch and it comes off his standing leg. That's the best situation they've created for a very, very long time.
Cullen. Dyke-Steele. Taylor picks himself up in the middle. Aribo is making the move in behind the Sunderland back line. Sunderland with a man down. Ryan Oviedo, who is trying to get back to his feet, but he's gone down again. Aribo, it's not a head injury, so Charlton don't have to stop. Maguire, in fact, who is down, is back up. Swallow, wonderful volley to send Sunderland to Wembley in the first leg against Portsmouth at the Stadium of Light.
Again, a little bit like this, two very evenly matched teams. It was going to take a moment of magic. Maguire was the man who provided it.
The final instructions from Jack Ross to Will Grigg, who has been promoted out of this league 4 times. He's been plagued by an ankle problem ever since he signed from Wigan.
Charlie White was brought in last summer to score the goals to drive Sunderland towards promotion. Wasn't really working overly well. Will Grigg was brought in to do the same, but had to play through an injury. That's where the big bucks have been spent by Sunderland. With a bit of payback this afternoon.
Dylan Phillips taking care of business. O'Nien's header. Here comes the change and confirmation. It's Will Grigg for Chris Maguire. Fought his way back from a fractured leg. This season comes to an end, and on comes Will Grigg. What looks to be a front 2 now for Sunderland.
It's not a system that worked overly well for them towards the end of the season. Need to ask more questions of that Charlton Athletic defence. Two sets of fans, and I'm seeing belief from the Charlton fans. I'm seeing a little bit of disbelief that they find themselves in this situation again.
If you're watching on Sky Sports main event, welcome along to Wembley, the League One playoff final, where there's been plenty of drama so far. Charlton 1, Sunderland 1, Sunderland hitting the front through a quite extraordinary own goal from Naby Sarr, but Charlton levelled up thanks to Ben Purrington before half-time. They stand all square, these two fighting for a place in the Championship. Oviedo. Tom Flanagan. Sunderland now matching up with Charlton in terms of playing two up front, and Charlie White has eyes on that.
Simply have to get the ball out wide. Oh, that is a horrible collision.
Luke O'Nien, the Sunderland man who's down. Who is down. O'Nien has got back to his feet, but is groggy.
Really heavy coming together. Need to take the time here, make sure these boys are okay.
Every curve being taken with both players here, Darren Pratley and Luke O'Nien.
Indicating with Darren Pratley is that he's suffering more with cramp than collision of heads. There was two players making a genuine, honest attempt to win a bouncing ball. Horrible collision. Thankfully both okay.
Luke O'Nien, as you can see, will need further treatment there to stem the flow of the blood. And there's Charles Methven, who is Stuart Donald's right-hand man, another investor in Sunderland. He spoke to David Bernstein, who was the man who put Manchester City back together after they dropped into the third tier. And Bernstein told them to bring in a boss for the long haul, make the tough decisions quickly. Of course, Manchester City, when they started their journey back, made it back through the playoffs. City started that season so badly that the players didn't warm up for home games in front of the fans because they were being booed before kick-off. So they go to the local gym and arrive back 20 minutes before kick-off in a minibus and play.
It is remarkable, I have to say. I've never experienced that one, as bad as it sometimes got.
Luke O'Nien has gone to the Sunderland dressing room to receive stitches. That's what we're hearing. Darren Pratley is back on the pitch, so Sunderland are down to 10 here. Darren Pratley back on the pitch for Charlton as Catamall intervenes. There's Dagsteel, who is looking more and more at home on the right-back position rather than his natural central midfield position.
Been very successful, hasn't he, Jack Ross, at making changes. I think 12 goals in all competitions have come from substitution, so he has got it right, and he will be hoping, particularly the introduction of Will Grigg, can pay dividends.
Well, it looked like he was just receiving the medical bulletin now regarding Luke O'Nien, because they'll have to make a decision quickly because they are down to 10, and this is Bielik.
I remember going off the stitches. It took 10 minutes. I was playing for Sunderland at the time, away at Upton Park. I came back on, and we've gone from 0-0 to 2-0 down. So you can't afford to have it take any length of time, really. Difficult decision.
Purrington. Bielik. Oviedo. Charlie White. Morgan. Crunching challenge on him, committed by Patrick Bauer.
Claiming he gets the ball, but in order to do that, it slides through the back
Lewis Morgan. His contact, he clearly gets the ball, but he clearly gets Lewis Morgan as well.
Johnny Williams, once off Sunderland, has been sent out to warm up by Lee Bowyer. He's been told be ready in a couple of minutes. A player who can provide the X factor. O'Nien still being stitched up in the Sunderland dressing room. But now he's emerged from the tunnel on the far side. He's hurdled the advertising hoardings. He means business.
Yeah, and again, Sunderland fans off their feet. They need something to spark them.
O'Nien is back. Spilling blood for the cause. And what has reunited Sunderland with their city and their fans is these players care. They really care about this club. Will Grigg is booked. He's bemused. I got the ball, he said.
Oh, he did get the ball, but it's there. Aftermath, isn't it? He really do an awful lot wrong. To say, Purrington just stumbles over him. A yellow card for that. Could be on the harsh side.
Keeping an eye on Christian Bielik, who scored with a header from a free kick against Doncaster Rovers at the Valley. A free kick which was sent in by that man there, Josh Cullen. Swung in by Cullen again. McLaughlin with good hands, but the referee had blown his whistle in any case. But he's such a calm presence at the back, isn't he?
He absolutely is. He must be a defender's dream. You know that he's there to catch and punch and be an assured figure behind them. Been doing it all season. Excellent signing.
It was something like 18 errors from Sunderland goalkeepers which led to goals last season. So they had to change it in the summer, and they brought this man in, John McLaughlin, who was at Hearts last season, but did a wonderful job at Bradford City and Burton Albion before that. One promotion here through the playoffs with Bradford City. He's calm, but he likes to get his point across.
Absolutely. Have to be chuntering all the game. Goalkeepers should be communicating with defenders.
Luke O'Nien. Morgan makes the move ahead of it. Here is Morgan. Griggs in the middle.
It's one of those occasions where you really are not sure. I don't think any team has really had a prolonged period of dominance in this game.
Catamol dishing out a few instructions. White behind him. Oztug behind him. And Flanagan at the back. They all break now as Levitt sends that corner in, and it's bundled wide. But there, once again, we saw Lee Catamol make that break towards the near post, which caused problems.
They didn't deal with it either. Just his mere presence. For Charlton, don't deal with this. Taylor can't get anything on it. Dyke still doesn't get anything on it. And fortunately for Charlton, Flanagan can't quite react quick enough.
Josh Parker. Pratley looking to pick up the pieces here and keep Charlton on the front foot. Purrington. He's away from Grigg, and then Grigg stuck out a boot and diverted it behind, but it will be a goal kick.
It's good from Will Grigg, but that isn't really what he's been brought on the pitch to do. It's a necessity at times.
Johnny Jackson in the ear of Johnny Williams. We're hearing it will be Darren Pratley who will make way shortly. Catamol. Grigg. Honeyman gives chase. He has Oviedo for support. Oviedo gummed in towards George Honeyman.
Touch back to him was just too heavy. Nice movement, sharp movement.
Honeyman linking up with Morgan. Dyke-Steele standing his ground. No free kick. Turk in command above Parker. No one has really grabbed this game by the scruff of the neck as we head into the final quarter.
That's why we have no idea which way it's going to swing. Go either way, genuinely, but this is a man who can make things happen out of absolutely nothing.
He did play 13 times for Sunderland last season, Johnny Williams, but he's been hit hard by so many injuries over the years. Talking of injuries, Aidan McGeady, who has had a fractured foot of late, is being prepared by Sunderland.
Andy Madley's brought that back and given a free kick to Charlton. No advantage, but gives Charlton a chance to bring on Johnny Williams.
And confirmation that it will be Darren Pratley to make way, but you know, Lee Bowyer says Johnny Williams is almost the perfect player. He wows every day with what he does in training. He comes on to replace Pratley. See some Sunderland fans away to our right applauding the introduction of Johnny Williams. He was only there for a brief spell, as I say, but he's a player that can really get into the hearts of fans with what he does. Well, he won't be in their hearts if he does them damage here. Straight into the action, Johnny Williams. Taylor will try and keep it alive, but heads the ball behind.
Well, there you go. Instant impact. Instant warning to Sunderland. Do not leave Johnny Williams 1v1 in isolation, because the likelihood is he will get a half a yard and get a delivery in. Taylor just can't quite keep it happening. But talking about creative sparks, none greater in League One for me than that
A
man.
roar which must send a tingle down his spine. Aidan McGeady on the pitch. He replaces Charlie Wyke. McGeady, who was set to play in the first leg of the semi-final against Portsmouth. He had the injection which he'd been having in recent weeks because of the fractured foot, but it didn't take. He had a second injection, that didn't take either. He came in for a third, and Jack Ross said, no, I can't let you have a third injection. So he missed the second leg. He's had a couple of weeks break to try and get over the break. O'Nien's challenge brought down Johnny Williams. And a booking for Luke O'Nien.
It'll be a long last part of this game, because Johnny Williams will just run and run. Got good feet, quick feet. Draws challenges, doesn't he? That's what he does. O'Nien actually just goes over the ball. Actually hurt Johnny Williams, still down. Slowly picking himself up.
A roar of approval from the Charlton fans as Johnny Williams gets back to his feet. Now, can they make one of these count? Here's Bielik, Aribo waiting, Josh Parker also in the mix at the far post. In by Cullen, there's a free header in there at the far post. So it was Bielik who got to it.
Literally could have gone anywhere, couldn't it? Some unfortunate. He landed at the feet or head of a Charlton player, but Bielik is down. He's landed awkwardly, I think. Comes up the far post, wins the header, but it's off balance and it's horrible. Lands on that left shoulder. Painful one.
Impressive performer this season, Christian Bielik, who will be off to the Euro Under-21 Championships after this. He's got 23 family and friends over at Wembley for this today, and they'll all be flying back to Poland after it. Where'd you having 23 friends from?
You're phoning rent a friend for that, my friend. If I can call you a friend?
No. 15 minutes to play. So far, we've had the drama in the first 45 minutes at Wembley. Parker. O'Nien. Josh Parker, stolen away from him. He's committing the foul.
Can find a way of getting Aidan McGeady on the ball, Sunderland. Surely that has to be part of the master plan. I don't think he's touched it yet.
Scored twice here in the Checker Trade Trophy final against Portsmouth a few weeks ago, Aidan McGeady. First time he's hit double figures for goals in a season. 14 to his name. His manager played against him, Jack Ross, in Scotland, still recovering. Ozturk. George Honeyman. Who is prepared to gamble here? Oviedo, away by Bauer. Taylor. Dijksteel. George Honeyman. Ball has crossed the line. Mention that Sunderland have players who really care about the club, care about the shirt, care about the city. Not more so than George Honeyman, local boy who's captaining the team. He says he will never forget that banner displayed by the Sunderland fans when it said the worst team in our history. It will live with him forever, he says. And he, amongst others, trying to right the wrongs of the previous years at the Stadium of Light. A robust challenge from Leadbitter. I think he's used to getting targeted, Johnny Williams, isn't he, these days?
Like I said really, he just draws people into making challenges on him, and again, referee erring on the side of leniency.
Honeyman. Bauer again, committing the infringement. There goes Aidan McGeady. Now Morgan. Now O'Nien in space on this side of the pitch, and he went for goal, Lewis Morgan. O'Nien was holding his hands out saying why. Aidan McGeady again, who can wriggle out of the tightest of spots.
that all-important period in this game where one mistake, one moment of magic, one set piece could be the difference.
Just over 76,000 inside Wembley for this today. And they're enjoying it, aren't they? You can't enjoy the playoffs, can you?
No.
Well, neutrals can.
There is only one way to enjoy it. That is to be connected with the winning team. Just the last few minutes, you've seen elements of fatigue creeping into one or two of the passes going astray. Decision-making, is that going to be a factor?
McGeady gave Bielik the slip. Has Cullen now in competition with him. This is Leadbitter. 09. Catamol, 09. Catamol again. Morgan is ahead of 09 here. There is Lewis Morgan. Cullen perfectly placed for Charlton. We are approaching the final 10 minutes of normal time at Wembley. Leadbitter. Pumped away by Pearce, but this is 09. Oviedo having to go chase. Oviedo, Shoney inside, takes up the invitation, but no real power on his weaker side.
Early kick from Phillips. Brilliant kick from Phillips.
Well, Oviedo was out of position and Charlton looking to capitalise on that, but Flanagan was drawn out from centre-back and dealt with the danger. Taylor thought he was fouled. The assistant races away from the scene.
The game is getting stretched.
Pearce and Grigg in combat.
He hasn't had a sniff so far of goal, Will Grigg, but we do know he only needs one, usually. Say, either team have been at their absolute attacking best. I have to say, neither goalkeeper having to make an extraordinary save.
That was Will Grigg.
Pick out Catamol, I think. Chance to head for that far corner.
Sunderland fans raising the volume inside Wembley. Aidan McGeady. There's Williams. Caught again, Leadbitter again.
Emily Bauer asking the fourth official. Just one infringement too many. Comes a time where a referee has no real choice. Player is multiple fouls.
I must say, by the way, and I know I mentioned it in the team news, this man showed great courage to play in the second leg at Purrington Park. The day after his mum Susan had passed away, he told George Honeyman and Jack Ross, and that was it as far as the Sunderland squad were concerned. And Don and I witnessed him walk out of the tunnel of Purrington Park and stand on his own in the centre circle in full kit for a good half hour after that game. And your heart goes out to Grant Leadbitter and his family, and as I say, amazing courage he showed to play in that game the following day.
Unbelievable courage, absolutely unbelievable. We'll talk about caring for the badge. I think there are many who care more than him for that badge.
Wears it with pride. Sunderland in his heart and soul. And his mum and dad were both Sunderland fans. This is Cullen. Johnny Williams draws in the challenge, but a fair challenge this time. Ledbetter. Catamon trying to set Will Grigg away. He will try and stretch the pitch for Sunderland. He will try and run in behind. Hands on head of Aidan McGeady.
Well, he's capable of doing that. That's the reason he tried it. Say, time is ticking, the dying embers of a game. Players get tired, mistakes get made. Is there going to be a twist here in normal time?
Still waiting to hear if he will be offered another contract. There have already been negotiations. He's hoping to hear from the owner in the next few days. At the moment, he's put all that aside to concentrate on this. There's a Rebo we haven't seen too much of in the second half. Josh Parker away from O'Nien. O'Nien just got a boot on it to divert it towards McLaughlin.
Again, big shout from John McLaughlin to his defender communication. Important at that time, aren't we, of the game, of any playoff game. Nail-biting time.
Well, we saw what happened late in extra time yesterday. Connor Jennings' header winning it for Tranmere Rovers. They'll be in League One next season and playing one of these two next season. Williams, we've seen plenty of the ball since coming on.
Yeah. You can see the danger that he poses, and Sunderland recognise that. That's why he's probably been the most fouled player in the 90 minutes so far. He's only been on the pitch 10 minutes.
Cullen. Williams again. Taylor. Bielik.
Tired pass.
Morgan, Aribo trying to match him stride for stride. Morgan wins round one, but Aribo's back for more. O'Nien picks up the baton, away from Purrington. Morgan again. There's Lee Catamol. Just got away from Catamol. He's been playing with this hip problem for 4 years. So much to reunite Sunderland with its city and fans. Lee Catamon.
Everything he's got, every minute of every game, nobody can deny.
A decade of service. He looked around in the summer in Portugal when Sunderland didn't have enough players to play 11 against 11 in training and thought, how on earth are we going to compete this season? But I know we've mentioned it a few times, and Sunderland had to get their medical staff and physios to be part of the 11 in training in the summer because they didn't have enough players. Let's not forget Charlton couldn't fill their bench themselves on the opening day.
19 players have made their debut for Sunderland this season. It's a remarkable amount. You have to look at what happened at Fulham to see how difficult it can be to integrate that and make it work, but Jack Ross has made it work.
He took over at Alloa, Jack Ross. Some of the local media called him Ross Jack. That's how much of an unknown he was.
They know his name now.
Aribo getting the better of McGeady. Parker. Aribo again.
Wanting to go forward. Comes below as Charlton, urging Charlton forward. At the time of the game, you don't want to make a mistake. Sometimes play it a little too safe.
Williams has pulled out to that far side to pick up a little bit of room, a little bit of time. Anthony Dijksteel. Bielik. Cullen's cross. Parker was in the middle, but pushing Oster.
Needless foul.
Niall Quinn was part of the 1998 defeat here at Wembley, and he gathered the Sunderland players in after what happened on the Wembley pitch and said, this does not happen to us next season. We will not be here. We will win promotion next season. Go and tell your agents we're all staying with Sunderland and we will get this club up. A year later, it happened. But that was his rousing speech on the Wembley pitch after that 1998 playoff heartbreak.
Certainly did the trick, that's for sure.
Josh Parker. Cullen. Diego beats Taylor to the punch. One moment now wins promotion. One moment of magic, one mistake. A memory to last a lifetime. Johnny Williams. Dijksteel having to stretch. 4 additional minutes to find a winner.
Well, when this final was made, did you expect it to go to extra time?
I did. Probably.
Yeah, was the answer. Doesn't do anything for the ticker, does it?
Johnny Williams getting the better of Oviedo. Taylor, nice idea to try and guide the ball into the path of Cullen.
You can see the energy draining out of these players, you really can.
Parker. Dijksteel. Williams cross. Parker tried the clever finish, hoping that finally he could come up with his first goal for Charlton.
He had teammates in behind him as well. Went for the elaborate. Could he let this ball run? Somebody coming in behind him. There's Taylor. There's a Rebo. But there's no shout. Maybe. You have to praise Tom Flanagan for being in the right place at the right time.
He may well, or have retired, Josh Parker, had that gone in, and that been his first goal with a goal like that for Charlton at Wembley to win promotion. Drop the mic and walk off. Aidan McGeady, blocked by Bielik.
And look at the players trying to get back. Sunderland, energy low. Game stretched.
Walker gets the free kick. How crucial could this be now? Hard for Flanagan.
Pleading his innocence, isn't he? And it was harsh, clever movement from Taylor. Again, Flanagan cannot let him past. A little bit cynical. Pulls him down. Free kick to defend, most importantly of all.
Incredible tension at Wembley. This is what the playoffs does. Bauer at the far post, Taylor at the near post. Here is Patrick Bauer sent goalwards, and McLaughlin again commanding inside his penalty area.
He is truly commanding. He's had an awful lot to do, but he's done the basics really, really well.
With Alim Turk, another Charlton Athletic free kick. 30 seconds to play.
Gets the wrong side of him. Uses his body well. Parker, all down.
Well, this has been a cruel place for Sunderland fans in the past. The recent past. Josh Cullen, he's dug the cross out, they're queuing up, in Purrington to Flanagan, but forced in! Patrick Bauer! These Charlton players write their legend! Wembley, so cruel for Sunderland again! They will not want to see this place again. Absolutely stunned. But Wembley's a place for winners. And it looks like Charlton Athletic are the winners.
Wow, I mean, that is just an unbelievable ending. I mean, quick thinking by Cullen as well, involved with Aribo, and then they know it's last chance saloon, get the ball in the area, they commit bodies forward to their credit, but it's that little block by Tom Flanagan that sends the ball directly into the path of Patrick Bauer. It's fortunate, but Charlton Athletic do not care. It's not going to miss from there. Goalkeeper's committed, Flanagan can't block it, and Charlton are in the championship. Heartbreaking for Sunderland, but that is what it feels to be a promotion-winning manager.
Unbelievable. Incredible. Astonishing. That sums up the playoffs there. Will Grigg, hands on head, whilst a yard away, the Charlton players are on top of the world. Can Sunderland save this? No, they can't! Charlton Athletic, the club from the valley, has climbed the mountain. They have reached the championship. From being brought to its knees to being back on top of the world, it's Charlton Athletic who are promoted. Sunderland absolutely shell-shocked.
Well, it is the best way to get promoted. It really, truly is. If you can guarantee it, this is the way that you'd want to do it. But for Sunderland, your heart has to go out. To lose it with literally the last kick of the game, 46 games, 3 playoff games, the last kick of the season is truly, truly heartbreaking. Wembley, as you say, it's only for the winners. I mean, who would have written that it would be Patrick Bauer that would score the winning goal? He wouldn't have been high on many people's list. They will hate hearing that name just as much as the name Clive Mendonca all those years ago.
Well, Patrick Bauer became a dad hours before the playoff win against Doncaster when his daughter Kayleen was born. The greatest moment of his life, and then just over a week later, one of the greatest moments of his life again, scoring the winner, deflecting in off Tom Flanagan. But Charlton have done it to Sunderland again at Wembley. Utter despair away to our right, but look at Dylan Phillips, whose mistake led to Sunderland's goal. Naby Sarr's back pass, you can look at Naby Sarr as well. But Phillips didn't control it, it went spinning past him into the back of the net. His world caved in then, but look at him now, on top of the world, as are Charlton.
Well, strength of character as well, I have to say, to concede such a goal in such a way in the biggest game of all big games. Heartbreaking, they were shell-shocked for 15 minutes, but you have to give enormous credit for the character. The fans stayed with them. They were the ones making the noise. They were the ones believing in their team, and they have well and truly been rewarded.
quite remarkable afternoon.
Well, Wembley can be a magical place, but do not say that to Sunderland fans, because once again it's deja vu. They took the lead, but it was ripped away from them again. They will not want to see this place again for quite some time. Let's get some Charlton Athletic reaction. Let's join David Craig.
Patrick, Christian, many congratulations. Patrick, just talk us through those amazing last few seconds.
I don't know what to say. It's amazing. I mean, we were working so hard for all the season, and now we done it. We scored in the last minute, and it's unbelievable.
Christian, the game started in an unbelievable fashion for you. What did Dylan say at half-time to the players?
Well, it was big mistake, you know, cut our wingers, but after he made unbelievable save 5 minutes later, he was outstanding the whole season, you know, and he was outstanding today as well. And I'm really happy because we worked whole season for this moment, and we done it all the way at Wembley. You know, this is unbelievable. This is a great experience for me, for whole team. We finally go up, and I can't wait for next season.
Patrick, this has not been a club without its troubles in recent times. What does it tell us about the direction it's now going in?
Yeah, I mean, if you see the first game of the season, we went with 16 players to Sunderland. You didn't think that we get promoted, but the boys were excellent all the season. Big respect to Limoya and Steve Cullen for getting such a good squad together, and we are just happy.
Christian, does that tell us about the spirit in the dressing room? What's just happened there?
Sorry, say again.
Does that tell us about the spirit in the dressing room? What just happened there?
I don't think there's a better dressing room. Sorry, the spirit is unbelievable. This is not team. This is just family. You know, everyone is unbelievable for each other. There's no better than no worse player. Everyone is same level, and it's unbelievable. You know, it's crazy. Sorry, I can't think. Sorry, I'm just.
Don't you worry. Go and enjoy the moment. You're also the Sky Bet man of the match. Patrick, do the honours. Go and enjoy it, boys.
A stunning end to the League One season. Charlton are promoted back to the Sky Bet Championship. We can now hear from the mastermind behind their promotion push. Lee Bauer is with Jonathan Oakes.
Lee, congratulations. What a way to win it. Can you put it into words?
No, it's not sunk in yet. All I'm just saying is all these proud people, I'm so proud of my players. They just keep going and going. I said it in the semi-finals. They just give me everything, you know. I've said it many times, they're a unique group of players. And this crowd, like, to bring this all back together, it's been some season. Like, I'm just proud of everyone. This is probably the proudest moment of my whole career. So I'm delighted for this football club.
What were you thinking when you went behind so early in the game in such circumstances?
It's just, like I said, though, in interviews earlier in the week, there's things that you can't control. We couldn't control that. That's just one of them freak things that happens in the game. But it just showed our character and our togetherness to come from behind and obviously score at the death there.
Thanks, Lee. Go and lift that trophy.
Thank you.
Unbelievable scenes here at Wembley. Chris Powell and Mickey Graham been alongside me for this one. Chris, 93 minutes and 54 seconds. 6 seconds left of the game when Patrick Bauer steps up. Talk us through it.
Well, the playoff never lets you down, does it? It never lets you down. And obviously, I'm beaming. I know Mickey's not too happy, but what a way to finish their season and the game. I mean, it was just an outstanding game. Great finish. And Charlton are up. It's great news.
It's fantastic, really, isn't it, for Charlton fans? Mickey, for Sunderland, so close. Terrible start for Charlton, got them in the game. We thought it was going to go to extra time and maybe penalties, but that kick in the teeth in the very dying seconds, tough for them to take.
No, absolutely. Certainly scoring that second goal so late on. There's no comeback from that. You know, they had one opportunity, they got the ball out wide, it was a quick free kick, they put the ball into the area, and they did what they had to do, they just kept it alive. Patrick Bauer ends up sticking it in the back of the net. It's so deflating for a bunch of players that have given everything. You know, 90 minutes, they've worked their socks off, and then for a sucker punch like that, you know, that's the only way to say it. It is so disappointing, so disheartening for the players. I feel for them, I've been in that situation myself, but you have to congratulate Charlton. After the first 15 minutes, I've got to say, I think they were the better side, they controlled their football, they looked a little bit more of a threat going forward, and they got the just rewards.
Chris, did you see the end to the game like that? Did you feel it was grinding towards extra time?
Well, it looked as if both sides didn't want to make a mistake, but to be honest with you, I felt Charlton were the more progressive side. They worked the ball out to the flanks. Johnny Williams made a real difference. He was lively.
Was he key for you?
He was, yeah, because he just put Sunderland on the back foot, where McGeady, you could see he wasn't fully fit. So the changes were good. But like you said, you felt as if extra time was going to come, but find the ball in. Flanagan made the block, but then it fell to Billick, who obviously put it in.
OK, for the trophy lift, Don Goodman and Gary Weaver.
Yes, thank you, David. Well, there they are. The men from South London in North London on the Royal balcony, about to receive the trophy. But it's not about the trophy, it's about what it means. It means promotion to the Championship. Jason Pearce hugging Patrick Bauer, the man who scored the winner. The smiling face of Dylan Phillips. Rewind 2 hours ago. Maybe you wouldn't think you'd be seeing that again. They are all there and all ready to lift this trophy. Charlton Athletic, a club which has been in chaos off the pitch, is in harmony on it. And these fearless young men are taking this proud club back to the Championship. They don't fear anyone. They don't fear any occasion. They will relish being back in English football's second tier. At the back there, Lee Bowyer, who did not even want to be a manager, yet he has done this.
Well, he's a classy man and he deserves all the plaudits that are coming his way. I read about him going into the Doncaster Rovers changing room to commiserate with them. That is pure class, and I'm sure he'll be doing the same to Sunderland. But I think the guys are right over the piece of the game. I don't think Sunderland did enough. I think Charlton were the ones that carried a greater goal-scoring threat, and ultimately they have prevailed in the most dramatic of dramatic endings that there possibly could be. And they will not be in the Championship just to make up the numbers. If they can keep that group together in the main, they will cause a few ripples, I am sure of that.
Here we go, Lee Bowyer started his playing career at Charlton, starts his managerial career at Charlton Athletic, and starts it with silverware. Charlton will be in the Championship next season.
Well, a deserved ovation for Lee Bowyer. The job he's done here has been absolutely phenomenal. They were knocked out at the semi-final stage of the playoffs last season. They've gone again this season and gone one better. So much turmoil, so much chaos off the pitch that he, as a young manager, has had to deal with. But it's ended with promotion back to the Championship. Chris Parr, Mickey Gray have been alongside me every step of the way of this. Chris, a touch on the job that Lee Bowyer's done.
Run out of words with what he's had to contend with, turmoil off the pitch, but he's been very clever in how he's brought the group together. Pre-season, they didn't have a trip abroad arranged, they didn't have a squad, so it's been really well put together, the squad. He's kept it simple. He's introduced a way of playing. They started off today with 3 at the back, went to a diamond, which they always like to play. And throughout the season, they've just added good players, good loans, some good young players. The keeper, the right back, really good young players. And they had momentum, especially a turn here. They had momentum, and they've just kept it going.
Mickey, as a young manager that Lee is it imperative that you get success early, or has it been the benefit of a little bit of patience by the Charlton?
Well, I think they've got to be patient with them, there's no doubt. But you look at the momentum, and Chris will obviously agree with this, you know, the momentum actually to get them into the playoffs in the first place. You know, they look like the form side, they were playing some wonderful stuff. When you've got strikers like they've got, you always give yourself a chance. But I was really impressed with them today. First 15 minutes they were a little bit shaky, but after that they controlled it, they got the ball into the areas that they needed to. And how about that for experience? Changing the system when they come out in the second half from a 5 to a 4. Now that's clever management, and it worked for them.
And from the point of view of, I mean, it was a horror start, wasn't it? And he didn't see, I mean, he looked crestfallen. He didn't panic, did he?
No, absolutely not. You know, he might have obviously closed his eyes when the ball went into the back of the net, but it was like, just keep playing the way you're playing. We will get our opportunities. We know this pitch. Chris has played on it. I've played on it myself. It saps the energy out of you. You've just got to try and stay as calm as you possibly can. But when you get into that final third, it's all about that quality. Who's got the best quality? And I think Charlton in that second 45 minutes showed a little bit more of that for me, to be honest with you. Was the goal a surprise? Yes, it was. I thought we were going to go to extra time. But it's about taking that one opportunity, and when it came, they were ready to pounce on it.
Well, they were indeed, and let's be honest, as a neutral, it's the absolute best way to watch the climax to a Football League season. There was only 6 seconds left in the game. Patrick Bauer was the man on the spot to divert the ball into the goal for Lee Bowyer and his Charlton side. They will be playing Championship football next season. Speaking of the Championship, it's the Championship playoff final tomorrow. £170 million at stake, and even more importantly, a place in the Premier League. All the coverage of Aston Villa against Derby from 2 p.m. on Sky Sports Football. More football coming up for you over the course of the summer. Gareth Southgate and England head to Portugal for the Nations League finals. More European qualifiers from the 5th to the 11th of June. Aidy Boothroyd's under-21s participate in their UEFA Championships. That's over in Italy from the 16th to the 13th of June. And Manchester City, Newcastle, West Ham and Wolves will be involved in the Asia Trophy. That's the last few days, in July. All of that is, of course, on Sky Sports Football. The Sky original Riviera returns to Sky Atlantic for a second series. That's also available in Ultra HD. We're going to get so much more reaction from Chris Powell and Mickey Gray here, but it's Charlton's day. They are promoted back to the Sky Bet Championship.
Screwfix sponsors Sky Sports coverage of the EFL.
Josh Cullen, he's dug the cross out, they're queuing up, important touch of Flanagan, but forced in! These Charlton players, right there, legend, but Wembley's a place for winners, and it looks like Charlton Athletic are the winners.
Well, that Patrick Bauer goal is the reason for these tremendous scenes here that we've got at Wembley. This is a winner's eye view of what it means to win a playoff final here at the home of football. Charlton players sharing the moment with their fans. Johnny Williams making sure that that is indeed a real promotion-winning medal. And this is the champagne lift. A well-deserved moment for Charlton after a long season, and we can get even more reaction now down on the pitch with Jonathan Oakes.
Congratulations, lads. Ben, can you quite believe the way that you've done it so dramatic in the last minute?
Oh, the start couldn't have been any worse. I think we grew into the game, and last minute, there's no better feeling than winning it. I was on the bench last year and we won. There's no better feeling than being on the pitch when you win it last minute like that. No better feeling.
Yeah, you've been on the bench for a couple of playoff finals before. What does it mean to you to play such a big part, scoring the goal as well?
Yeah, it's my 4th playoffs now. I think it's my 3rd successive promotion out, so can't complain. Can't complain. This big man, a few unbelievable saves like the team today. Credit to them, every single one of them. Like put shifting, unreal.
Dylan, in the end, the first goal doesn't matter, but what happened there?
I've literally just seen it back there first time. Listen, it's lack of concentration. It's kicked on a bit quicker than what I was expecting, and maybe the occasion has played a part in that, but I can't thank him enough for getting us back in the game, you know what I mean? Unbelievable, and the boys deserve it. They've been unreal all season, and I can't vouch enough for this group that we've got here today. They're all great players. They'll all go on to have great careers, and hopefully we can do the same, and as a club.
Not long after the goal, you made a big save from Grant Ledbetter. How much did that settle you down?
Yeah, as soon as you make that mistake, you just want to put things right, and I'm just glad that came along, and now we're in the Championship, and I can't believe it, really. I mean, I wasn't playing at the start of the season. I've come in the side. No better feeling, mate, no better feeling.
Ben, you're still on loan at Charlton, so what does the future hold for you? Do you want to stay next season?
I've got one more year at Rotherham, but to be honest, I don't have a clue what I'm doing, so just got to wait and see. It'll be an interesting next few weeks, I guess, now, leading into next season, but yeah, got to see now, just be patient, see what happens.
Dylan, having been at the club for so long, since you were, what, 9 years old, to help them back into the Championship, how special a feeling is this for you?
It's unbelievable, mate. It's a dream come true, really. I'm over the moon, mate. I can't explain it right now. It hasn't really sunk in. Yeah, it's the club that I've been at since I was a little kid, and I just want to just kick on now and keep progressing.
Well done, go and enjoy it. Thank you.
Well, Dylan Phillips there, probably the most relieved man inside Wembley Stadium. Mickey Gray and Chris Powell are alongside me. Chris, you've known Dylan a very long time. You saw the look on his face when that goal went in, but hit my word, he reacted, didn't he? He got his head back into the game.
What we were saying early on was he needed to make a save or a punch. He needed something to just go for him really early, and he responded brilliantly with the save from Grant Ledbetter. And to be fair, the team grew after that. They were shell-shocked. They definitely were. Sunderland settled, played really good football. But after 15 minutes, you could just see Charlton just edging away, playing their way into the game. I don't remember Dylan making too many saves after that. So really, really good for him.
Well, as if by magic, we have the winning manager here, Lee Bauer. Lee, congratulations, wonderful achievement. I saw you before kick-off, cool as a cucumber sat in front of that massive trophy. You've now got your hands on the slightly smaller trophy. How does it feel?
Unreal. To achieve what we've achieved this season is so remarkable. All our staff, everybody to do with this football club. I said at the start of the season to our fans, come on this journey with us, because it's going to be a journey. And they did. And we've filled our stadium, we've filled this today. And what a journey. And the players, like, I can't speak highly enough of them and my staff around me. I just thank everybody for being part of this amazing day.
Well, that's how the journey finished. Talk to us about 5 minutes into the game. It didn't go as planned, did it, Elliot?
You can't prepare, like I said, from when I spoke to the press on Friday until the end of the game today, I said that there was things that I ain't going to be able to control, and that's one of them. But to give such a good side a goal lead, just a goal, go on then, go and have a 1-0 lead, and I was thinking now we're going to see who the men are, if they can handle that and step up. And I thought it was unreal. After it took us about 15-20 minutes to settle down, then we started passing it, and then I thought, yeah, we controlled big parts of the game.
There would seem to be a real sense of responsibility that you're all in this together. Yes, there's a mistake been made, but as you say, the men reacted together as a team. You must be so proud of that.
Yeah, I'm proud of everything, you know, like they give me everything every day in training. Their professionalism is spot on. And to go out there and when your back's against the wall, be a man and get on the ball and pass it. That's bravery. And they've all just grabbed this chance today. I'm so proud of them. Like, it's unreal.
Well, you know the club. Chris Powell knows it. Chris, we were there for the semi-final. A packed-out Valley. Yeah. As Lee said, a packed-out turnout from the Charlton fans here today. Just tell us about the job that Lee's done here.
No, it's been fabulous. As I've always said, he knows the club and he knew what was needed. Unite the club. Bring the fans on the journey and talk about the journey, because he knows these fans have been through a lot and they needed redemption. And from the start of the season, he made it very clear, this is how we're going to play, this is what we're going to do. There was no grey areas. Every time I watch Charlton, it just looks like there's no grey areas. Everyone knows their role, and Lee just sets it off, ably assisted by Johnny Jackson. But you talk about packed grounds last year and packed stadiums. He's going to have packed stadiums next year, let me tell you, because they'll come back. These fans want Charlton back in the Premier League, and this is just one small step, hopefully, in the journey to that.
Well, Chris talks about a packed-out stadium next season. Is it going to be the case where you're on the touchline next season taking this team back in the Championship? Do we know any more moving forward?
No, I hope that I am, but obviously that's not my decision. But
it's a hell of a way to seal the future, though, isn't it, in the interim?
Yeah, listen, I've worked so hard, and the most important thing for me was to get promotion. Now, whatever happens, happens. I've done what I came to set out to do, and to get this amazing football club back where it should belong, in the Championship, and then see where we go from there.
Did you know what time the winning goal was scored? 93 minutes and 54 seconds. There's 6 seconds left in this game. I mean, can you put into words the feeling of elation when it goes in?
No, I can't. I run along. I run along, and like I probably should have just stayed in my box. But the emotion and the passion, you know, like it was unreal. And I thought it was going to blow just before we scored. And then I spoke to the fourth official after, and he said, "No, there's 5 seconds left." I was like, "Wow, what a time to score!" That's it. The game's over. So yeah.
I tell you what, from our point of view, what we've seen from you all across the season, we speak to you pre-match, we speak to you post-match, and it's all very level, all very composed. Underneath, I mean, moments such as that, that's why you're still involved in football at this level, isn't it?
Yeah, because I love the game, and I love that winning feeling, you know, and I love the banter and stuff, the everyday life in the football dressing room. I love that, and then obviously I stepped away from that for a few years, but now
Did you miss it when you came away?
No, I didn't.
No?
No. If I'm honest, I didn't miss it because I thought, no, my time's done now. I had a reasonably good career. I was very fortunate with injuries, and I thought, no, it's my time to step away now. But then, obviously, I've got the opportunity to come back in, so and I'm loving every second of it.
And the connection that we see here with the Charlton fans, I mean, was that high on your list of priorities when you were the man that was put in charge?
Yeah, that was my main thing, was to bring the players and the fans back together, because it wasn't here. I've said this so many times. It wasn't here when I came to this football club 18 months ago. And now, like you just see today, everyone's come back together, and what a journey we've all been on from start to finish.
You have experienced some very big games in your playing career. Where does this rank today?
It's up there because it's a final, and you get a trophy, and it's probably even bigger than the trophy that I won here with Birmingham, because now we're going up a division, you know, and that alone is so big.
And of course, planning for next season will start very soon, but tonight and for the rest of the week, perhaps, is it celebration time?
Yeah. We've just got to enjoy this moment, because I said to the players, these moments don't happen all the time. I was only lucky enough to play here once, and these are a lot of young players, and they've played here once already, and they've still got a big career in front of them. So we're definitely going to enjoy this moment.
Well, Lee, wonderful achievement. Congratulations once again. Go and rejoin your players and go and take that lap of honour. Thoroughly deserved.
Thank you very much.
All the very best next season.
Thank you.
It's a fantastic achievement, really, isn't it, gents? Mickey, you talked about tactically Lee thinking on his feet during the course of the game. Is that what impresses you most about it?
Without a doubt. You know, you talk about the inexperience that Lee's probably got. You know, he's not been in management for that long. And to make that change, knowing that Sunderland probably had a little bit too much possession in the central midfield area, certainly early on in the game, the first 15-20 minutes, and they were controlling it, and it was all forward passes. But then Lee to think at half-time, I need to change this. I need to go to a 4. I need to match them up, go with a diamond in midfield. That'll get us out a little bit quicker. Use the pace that we've got going forward. And it worked. They looked, and me and Chris were speaking off air, you know, about the threat that they've got going forward with the pace that they've got. And Sunderland couldn't handle it. You know, they look more like scoring the all-important second goal rather than Sunderland. Now, Sunderland made the pitch nice and tight, but they weren't getting anybody in behind. They tried to bring McGeady on late on, but again, you mention it, they never got him on the ball. I don't know how fit he was, but they looked really lethargic at the end of that game, as if it was a long season. We've been here before, and it was like, just blow the whistle. And you can't be like that here. I said before, you've got to give every ounce of effort that you possibly can, but there was just something missing at the end.
Chris, for you, as a manager, is it timing, the right manager with the right players at the right time? Is that what we've seen this season with Charlton?
Yeah, definitely. I've experienced that. Sometimes it only happens for one season. But when the stars are all aligned, you get the recruitment right, the style of players right for those players. And as Mickey said, if you can have fluidity to your game plan, to change at half-time, to change during the course of the game, which Charlton have, with the players on the pitch, they don't have to make subs to go from a 3 at the back to a 4 at the back. And that is a really good weapon to have. And they used it today to their advantage.
Mickey, from the point of view of well, we're going to go into real detail next season, but is this a Charlton side that could do well in the Championship?
Why not? Why not? It's all about momentum. You know, Lee, certainly, from what I've just witnessed there, he's got everybody on side. It's about keeping that group of players together, maybe a few additions here and there, just a little bit of experience, maybe going into the Championship. But when they get there, just go and play. Play the way they did today, they will cause so many teams a lot of problems. They're not just going there to make the numbers up. You know, you look at the football that they played, really impressive. And I think you talk about the final third, where it counts. You've got to score goals, and I think, you know, when you get that final third, you look at the players that they've got there, and you think, can they actually do well in the Championship? Well, the answer is yes.
For you, Chris?
I don't think they'll make many changes. I think they'll play the same way. I think Lee will be the same manager. They'll obviously try and bring in players that can progress with them in the Championship, even one step further. But why change it? I think Mick's right. Why change it? Stay exactly with what got you there. Try and add some players. It'll be tough, without a doubt, because you've got teams with parachute money, etc. Charlton won't be spending a lot of money, but why not? The momentum is there. We've seen it with Luton. They've gone up twice. Tranmere have done it. Why not Charlton?
Well, undoubtedly a key man this season for Charlton. His top scorer, Lyle Taylor, 25 goals. He's fired Charlton to promotion in this playoff final. He's now talking to David Craig.
Lyle, this must be the pinnacle of any player's career when it goes your way. Can you sum it up?
Honestly, it's the second time and I still can't do it. It's unbelievable. I mean, look at it. Wow. Who would have thought it at the start of the season when we had 15 players in the squad? But we've come here and we've done it.
The day started off in quite an uncomfortable fashion for you as a side. Did Dylan have anything to say at half-time?
To be honest, everyone was quite quiet at half-time and I just went in and said, lads, it's 0-0. Like, just laugh and joke about it. Like, you might as well. I said, Nabby, good finish, mate. I said, stick the next one in the right end next time, but there's nothing you can do about it. It's one of them things. That doesn't happen 99.9% of the time. You get to a game like this where everything's just different and you get anomalies, and that's all it is. But we fought back and I thought we deserved it.
Charlton is a club that always seems to get the headlines for all the wrong reasons for what's going on off the pitch. But what does this do for the club now, Lyle, looking forward?
I hope it galvanises the club, and I hope it means that we get the desired outcome that the fans want over the summer. So we'll see what happens with that, but we're a Championship club again.
You are. Go and enjoy it.
I will, thank you.
Which certainly has been an integral part of Charlton this season. 25 goals, the leading goal scorer for the Addicts. The winner that we saw, I mean, Chris, testament to the approach from Lee Bauer that you do throw men forward with a matter of seconds left in the game.
A very forward-thinking team. Bringing Johnny Williams on, I felt put Sunderland on the back foot. There was a bit of interplay here. What Luke O'Nien should have done, make sure the cross doesn't come in. Cross gets in, they attack it, they react, goal. I mean, it was just a simple goal, but they were quick thinking, even in the 94th minute. A quick free kick, bit of interplay with Joe Aribo and Cullen, gets the cross in, really attacks it, Bauer, and then responds to the second ball.
Mickey, from your point of view, I mean, you talked about the lethargy that perhaps Sunderland were demonstrating. Is that the example of it there, not getting close enough to the cross?
If you've got 30 seconds left of the game, you've got to switch on. You know, you've got to keep going until that final whistle. They switched off, like Chris mentioned before, from that quick little free kick, and then you just kept it alive. Cullen just thought, I can't believe my luck here. You know, I've got half a yard on 09, I'm going to put it into the area. We know we've got bodies in there, we've all pushed forward. Let's take a chance. And you block the first one, yes, but there's that many bodies. I mean, they're on top of the goalkeeper. It's so difficult for him to actually come out and clear his lines. And it goes over the top of his head, and then it's right, OK, this is a lottery now.
Well, it was 2v1. It was 2v1.
Absolutely.
Back post.
It should be that in the very last minute.
94th minute, no chance. Shouldn't be doing that.
Well, as we know, Wembley can be a place for infamous moments of action very early on. We asked Lee Bowyer about this. I mean, as he said, you cannot legislate for this happening after just 5 minutes, can you?
No, I mean, Phillips are obviously going to watch this, but, you know, this is just, you do not want to start a game like this. As Chris, myself, as full-backs, you know just to slide that ball across the 18-yard box. There's no pressure on it at all, Phillips. And he's just switched off from it. You know, it's not even gone underneath his foot. It's actually gone round his foot, but the ball back to him has got too much pace on. Keep it away from the goal. Just calm everything down. But look, the pace is on it. Phillips he takes his eye off the ball. I mean, we're blaming the fullback, aren't we? But then you've got to look at the goalkeeper as well and think, you know, concentrate. So, yeah, both sides.
Why is concentration an issue? I mean, it's all right for us sat there watching the game, but 5 minutes into the match, Chris, how can concentration be an issue?
Well, yeah, you want a good start. Everyone wants to settle into the game, have a touch of the ball. What I noticed about that was Sarr had a look at Dylan, then looked forward. Dylan changed his position. Sarr never saw that, so he actually thought that Dylan Phillips was still in the same position originally. but he's not looking.
He's not looking. We've seen some harder shots actually in the game than that, to be honest with you. I mean, as a fullback, you're thinking to yourself, okay, if I put a lot of pace on this, it might actually go under Phillips' foot. So just lay it across the 18-yard box, but keep it away from the goal. You know, you're 5 minutes into it. Naby Sarr must be thinking, right, okay, and it's like don't give me the eyes kind of pass, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's got too much pace on it, and it just rolled round the side of his foot. Perfect start for Sunderland. But from that moment, I'm saying to myself as a manager and a player, I'm thinking, right, let's go for the second goal. But it never happened. It never happened. It was as if, right, we're content now. We know we're quite solid at the back, and we didn't do it.
Would you sense the fragility then? Because, I mean, where we were sat, the Charlton fans genuinely shocked about the goal going in, weren't they?
Absolutely. But then, you know, with the experienced players, and we talked about this before the game, Grant Ledbetter, Lee Cattermole, you're right, control it. But when you get the chance to play that ball forward, then absolutely get it forward, go for the jugular, get that second goal. Then you can relax. Then you can hold on to the lead that you've got. But when it's 1-0, it's still game on, and certainly in a game like this.
They certainly had the opportunity. Grant Ledbetter had the shot. Dylan Phillips made a good save, and that meant the world to him with regards to making up for the mistake. But after that, I felt Charlton just grew and became the strongest team.
Well, Dylan Phillips' new best friend for life, Ben Purrington, chose the best time to score his first goal for Charlton Athletic. Another assist from Lyle Taylor. We laud his goals, Chris. His work rate is exceptional. An 11th assist of the season from the Charlton man.
I mean, that's an all-round striker, not only scoring goals, but creating them. What I like about this goal is Dick Steele, as a fullback, kept running forward, and it's just this touch here. Taylor doesn't even think about it. He puts it in that area where the keeper can't get it, defender can't get it, and Maguire switches off. He's marking Purrington, as we can see at the top of the picture, but then he's inside of him, doesn't track him, he's onside.
Again, I mean, Mickey, is that a concentration thing we're looking at for Chris Maguire at the back post?
It has to be. You know, you're talking about a striker coming back and helping out your fullbacks. But you can stay there as long as you like and put your arm up and ask for offside, but you still have to do your job. Your job is to get goal side of whoever's you're marking, and Purrington just makes a little run. I mean, he doesn't really have to work hard for it, to be honest with you. No, it's a simple little tap-in. We're talking about going into the next league, into the Championship. Get your body in the way, make it really difficult for whoever you stood alongside. But Maguire, being a striker, just thought, OK, we're going to win this, and then we're going to break forward. Switch on first. And he
but maybe taking the example, as Chris says, of Lyle Taylor's all-round game. We saw him tracking back. We saw him helping out.
Yes.
He was everywhere today, wasn't he?
Yeah, I thought he was outstanding. Certainly take away the first 15 minutes when I don't think he really had a touch of the ball. But after that, you know, darting runs, wanting to, you know, do the hard yards, if you like, running in behind fullbacks, running in behind centre forwards, using your body, being strong. Very clever player. I was really impressed with him today. His all-round football game. He can certainly play at the higher level.
And situations like this, Chris, I mean, you've been in this position as a player and a manager. How much do you have to make sure that you remember particular times like this? Because as we know, football could be a cruel mistress, but on days like today, it's the best game on the planet, isn't it?
Oh, you savour every single moment. When you're out celebrating with the fans, with your teammates, with the staff, with your family, you savour every single second of it. Because it may not come around again. It just may not come around. Only a chosen few get to win playoff finals, get to win promotions, and this is their moment. So savour every single... I mean, they're going to have some night tonight. Lee Bauer was saying, oh, well, I'm not sure what I'm going to be like tonight. Do not ask him a question about 10:30, because he won't be able to answer. He's going to enjoy it, and deservedly so.
Absolutely. So it's a wonderful day, isn't it, for Charlton Athletic? But unfortunately for Sunderland, their attempt at bouncing straight back to the Sky Bet Championship has fallen at the final hurdle. We'll get some reaction from Jack Ross, their manager, after the break.
Screwfix sponsors Sky Sports coverage of the EFL.
Charlton captain Patrick Bauer picked the optimum time to step up for his side. Just 6 seconds remained in this League One playoff final as he stabbed home the winner from close range. It's obvious devastation for Sunderland. A solid season to Jack Ross. They've fallen just short. Let's hear from the Sunderland manager now, talking to David Craig.
Jack, clearly a hugely disappointing moment and a day for everybody involved with Sunderland. Can you sum it up?
It's a sore way to lose a football match. It's a sore way to lose an occasion like today. I don't think the players deserve to lose the game in that manner for what they put into the game, for what they've put into the season, but we have done. So congratulate Charlton and wish them well in the promotion. We have to dust ourselves down over the coming weeks, but right now there's a rawness of emotion that is very sore.
It's a game that went your way in the opening minutes. What then went against you?
I think thereafter, I don't think there was a huge amount in the game. I think both teams had spells, so they were on top. I thought we started the game very well. So Charlton came back into it, scored during that period, and I thought we finished the half well. I think, as always happens in these games, the game becomes stretched in the latter stages. If anything, I thought we looked fairly strong. Gave away a couple of poor free kicks in the latter stages, and ultimately we conceded from one of them. But we should. But yeah, it's not really a moment for dissecting perhaps the exact moments in which you lose the game, because there is a great deal of pride in what that group of players have given me over the course of this season.
Clearly, as you said, it leaves you back in League One next season, but where does it leave Sunderland as a whole, Jack?
Well, I think as a club there's been an awful lot to be proud about this season in terms of where the club was in the summer. People will point to the very obvious one, that it suffered 2 consecutive relegations, but there's an awful lot of other things that people don't see. To rebuild that, to recreate a culture, to reconnect a relationship with a fan base and all these other things, to do that in a short period has been progressive and it has been positive. Ultimately the football side of the club is always judged on results, and that what will happen after today, but when you scratch beneath the surface, there's been an awful lot of progress made in the last 10 or 11 months.
And I know your focus is what happens on the field, not what happens off it, but there is talk of new investment coming into the club. If there is any positives at this moment, could that be the sort of news that does buoy people around Sunderland?
Well, impossible for me to say, because I don't know a lot about it. You don't know what the outcome of that will be, what direction the club will go in from there, how that affects everybody involved with the club. So that's maybe a thought for another day. Right now my thoughts are with my players and staff, because playing squad that we put together, a staff that inherited a lot of good people at this club, and that's so for them today. A lot of emotion involved in it, because a lot of them are born and bred Sunderland fans as well, and they're feeling it at the moment. So my main concern is for them.
Clearly you've got a lot of experienced players in there. For them it was a huge moment today, and we saw what it meant to them, but I think we particularly should talk about Grant Ledbetter. How much character has he shown in the recent weeks?
Yeah, Grant's a top professional. He's played at the level he has done for a number of years for that very reason. Not only is he a good footballer, but he's got a tremendously strong mentality, and to produce the couple of performances he has done in the second leg of the semi-final and today in his current circumstances is remarkable, and I'm devastated for him that we haven't been on the right side of the result today. But I keep saying how proud I am of them. I couldn't ask for them to give me any more over the course of the season. I don't just mean today, I mean every single day they've trained with me and what they've given me. Just absolutely devastated for them.
Very finally, is there enough at this club, including you and all those players, to bounce back next season?
Yeah, I mean, I would always say that. I trust in what I do. I'll always look back at what we could do better, but ultimately we've fallen short with 60 seconds in a playoff match, so it's very fine margins. Didn't finish an awful lot far away from the top 2 places as well. There's little bits we can improve upon, but as I said, I've got faith in how we work, but we have to take a breather. We have to take this on the chin once it starts to settle down, and then you have to regroup and use the disappointment today to keep motivating you for next season.
Jack, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Wembley certainly hasn't been a happy hunting ground for Sunderland. They've lost on the last 8 visits here. 1973 was the last time they ventured down to the capital and left victorious. Mickey Gray, listening to Jack there, very magnanimous in defeat. A solid season he's had in his first season as Sunderland manager. How do you sum up what he's done this year?
Well, certainly him and Stuart Dolland have galvanised the football club. You know, they gave it back to the supporters, if you like, because there was a separation before that. We've had, well, what now, 6 or 7 years where we've been in the doldrums, relegation after relegation. Now, unfortunately, we haven't been promoted back into the Championship. So he had a difficult job to do. You know, a lot of big earners had to leave the football club, and then, you know, fresh faces trying to bed everybody in at the same time was a difficult job. Chris will know that better than me. But what I think he has done is brought a little bit of camaraderie back to that football club. I think you look back maybe on the season and think, we've drawn too many games. We made a few little mistakes, certainly in the latter part of the second half of the season when they got themselves into a position where they could have actually finished in the top 2. And when you look at the budget, I think there's, you know, a lot of the lower league managers maybe look at the budget and think Sunderland should actually be there. So maybe that was a little bit of a mistake, so he's got to readdress that. But again, today's not the time to do that, but next season is a must. You know, when you think about the size of the club, You know, playing in League One for a second season, it's happened before with different clubs.
What do you think about his approach specifically to the game today?
Well, I can't change what I saw today. I know Jack said that the players gave everything, and I'm sure that they did, but I just think, looking at it, I would have done it a little bit different. I mentioned before about when they got that early goal through a little bit of good fortune. Why not go for the second? It looked as if they'd held back and then said to Charlton, right, come on, let's see what you've got. And I think that was the wrong approach. Maybe I'm wrong in saying that, but that's the way I looked at it. Because from that moment, they didn't look into any pressure, you know, they looked quite comfortable. I said about the experience they had in that midfield area. They kept the ball quite nice, and then they were getting it up to the forward players, but that just went out the window. Once they give Charlton one opportunity to break forward, it was like, OK, now we've got to start backing off a little bit. And it never worked for them. They came out in the second half, which they actually did in the Checker Trade Trophy. And it was they're on the back foot. It was as if, right, we're not good enough to hold these out. Well, you've got to have that confidence within yourself to say, you know, we're going to get that second goal. We want to play in the Championship next season. And again, I think they missed a trick.
I think the issue for Sunderland was Will Grigg, the signing. Such a talented goal scorer, never works in maybe the way Jack Ross and Sunderland would have liked. He's a quality player, good finisher. What was it, 4 goals? He's only got 4 goals since January, where I'm sure everyone expected him to be maybe the talisman, the catalyst for them to finish in the top 2. The pressure's really on Sunderland now next season. I mean, it was this year, but next season now, they have to get up, and you know, it's a real bitter pill to swallow for Sunderland today.
Well, Chris mentions Will Grigg there. What do you make of the transfer dealings from Sunderland's point of view? The players that have come in and out, have they been a success from your point of view, Mickey?
Well, I mean, let's go to Josh Madger, who actually left the club and went to Bordeaux. I mean, you can't fault the lad. You know, he got an opportunity, and a great opportunity, and he wanted better himself. So Will Grigg comes in, you know, you think experienced guy, you know, he's played for his country how many times, he's huge experience, he came in, and we all maybe expected 10, 12, 13, 14 goals from him. Unfortunately, that has not happened for him. And then you look at the other players, and I mentioned it before about...
these players that we're looking at, are these League One players, are these Championship players?
Well, looking at that squad of players, yes. Because, you know, off camera, I maybe had a conversation with yourselves and said, look, if we do get promoted, we need 7 or 8 new players. Because that Championship is really tough. Charlton, on the other hand, are on a different scenario. I think that squad's got to stick together. Whereas Jack's probably looking at his squad now. Lee Cattermole, although I thought, you know, he was great today. Him and Grant Ledbetter, you know, they're experienced guys now. Can't go on forever. You know, you've got to freshen things up. You've got to get that little bit of life, that little bit of spark. As soon as you go back for pre-season, those players have got to come into that dressing room, hit the ground running, and you say, right, we are going to get promoted. It's either first or second, nothing else.
Well, they finished 5th this season in the 3rd tier of English football. That's the lowest that they've ever finished in league football. So we like words like success or failure, don't we? So what is this season for Sunderland?
Well, I said at the beginning of the season that we have to finish in the top 2. So, I mean, you know, it was a failure not to finish in those 2 positions. But then you get that little second bite at the cherry, if you like, which was today. They slipped down in the playoffs. You know, they were in a great position. And then Charlton just went on this great run. They finished obviously 2 positions above Sunderland. We did half the job against Portsmouth, home and away. But then you come here and you think, right, OK, we've been given that second chance. We've got to really take this. And I don't think they did today. You know, I'll keep saying it. I still think there was something there more to give today. I really do. Or is that down to the quality that Sunderland have got at the moment? You know, things have changed over the last 5 or 6 years. It's not the club what it used to be. You know, we haven't got a billionaire owner, but we've got an owner now who actually cares about the football club, and we've got a manager who's galvanised the whole place. And everybody thought it was all rosy. OK, we're going to win this league, we're going to romp this league, it's going to be so easy. It's not the case. You've still got to go out every week, and you've got to perform. Well,
you've seen it up close and personal this season from your experience, Chris, but Mickey mentioned 19 draws. If you're an optimist, they're tough to beat. If you're a pessimist, they're not clinical enough, are they?
You got to be a pessimist. You have to, with regards to Sunderland, because those draws have made them fail to get in the top 2. As Mickey said, they were aiming for top 2, so they drew too many games, clearly too many, for a side that was aspiring to get back into the Championship. And I suppose they tried to remedy that with the signing of Will Grigg. Madger scored some goals before he left. Grigg comes in. I think everyone looks at that and says, right, great, we're going to get the goals and score the goals and win the games that we need and get the points, but they clearly didn't get them. And the last 10 games of the season, compared to Charlton, there was only one team who really had the momentum, had the belief. Sunderland had a bit of belief today, but I just felt as if, and Mickey alludes to it, they didn't really say to everyone here, we're going for this. didn't really do that. They got given a goal, which is great, but they never really built on that, and sadly for them, they've got another tough season in League One.
Well, it's another tough season. We spoke before the game about who the expectation was on. You said Sunderland and Chris said Sunderland, so that means there'll be even more next season now, won't they?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, you can't have a club the size of Sunderland playing League One football for more than 2 seasons. Now, we've had one. Now, everybody will know that Sunderland, the pressure's on them to finish in those top
pressure on
teams.
Jack Ross as well, specifically?
Well, it has to be, but I think Jack he'll accept that. You know, you're in a job like that. We've had so many, you know, big managers over the years. You know, David Moyes. You know, there's been so many, Gus Poyet, people like that. So we went a different avenue. We brought in Jack Ross, who'd won Scottish Manager of the Year the season before with St Mirren. He comes into the club, and I said he got everybody together, but he will have to feel the pressure. There's no doubt about it, and he'll go straight to the chairman and say, look, we need 3 or 4 players. We want to keep the players that we've got. And a big thing for me is, I mean, I know he came off the bench today, but Aidan McGeady, we talked about him before, about, you know, being maybe the best player in the Championship. People might question that, but he's got so much ability, and you look at the experience the guy's got. Does he want another season in League One? It's big, big problems that are going to be off the field, but this is what Jack has got to put together and say to these players, look, guys, stick with me. We want to get pushed, we want to get into that Championship next season, and I want to do it with this group of players. Just fill them with confidence. It's difficult to do today, but when they come back for pre-season, he wants them all together with a few fresh faces and say, right, this is our charge.
So a tough pill for Sunderland to swallow, but for Charlton, it's promotion back to the Championship. Here's Lee Bowyer addressing his players.
You don't realise what you've just done. You deserve all the praise that you're going to get. Every single one of us. And can someone just tell me where we're going?
We are going up, say we are going up. We are going up, say we are going up. We are going up, say we are going up. We are going up, say we are going up.
Well, that certainly is what's happening with Charlton Athletic. They are going up back to the Sky Bet Championship. Nice little moment there, Chris, when you see the players and staff sharing that. Again, we said memories that will last a lifetime, won't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's great that you can address the players and be part of the celebrations. I mean, they're going to have some night, and it's well earned. They've been the best side for me in the division, the second half of the season especially. Fully deserved today, maybe not the way it went. You know, Jack Ross said maybe his players didn't deserve the way it ended, but we saw it yesterday, extra time, last minute. We've seen it again today. We might see it again tomorrow, but Charlton fully deserved to have a brilliant summer and look forward to Championship football.
Well, Chris mentions that brilliant summer. It's obviously a shorter summer than perhaps if you wrapped it up automatically. I mean, we talk sometimes about a hangover from a team that's not managed to get up in the playoff final, but I mean, they're certainly going to have a hangover tomorrow, the Charlton lot. But in the sense of getting into next season, there's got to be a fine line between getting them back in, getting them ready to go, and not trying to push them too much so they burn out too quickly.
Well, I'll tell you what's crazy though, Prutz, is walking up those steps to pick up that trophy in the playoffs. Yes, it's nice to get it over and done with first and second. What a way to go up. I mean, I've never done that. You know, unfortunately, I was stood here crying my eyes out when I was here. But when you
I've been there myself, Mickey, so no one's gloated, it's fine.
You know exactly what it feels like, but what a way to go up. So the players won't think about that. They've got enough time to rest, and I think, you know, it's great for them. They're celebrating now, and Chris mentioned before, you know, Lee and the players, go and enjoy your night. They're going to have a holiday, they'll go away, they'll readdress everything, and then just have a little break, and then it's back again. Here we go again.
And from a manager's point of view, Chris, as Mickey's talking, it's imperative that you manage the next few weeks pretty quickly, but get yourself ready for what will be a wonderful attempt at the Championship next year, won't it?
Yeah, I would say that they would have already put together, if they go up, recruitment, they would have earmarked 1 or 2 players. They would have earmarked players if they don't win. Obviously now they're looking at a bigger budget, players that will improve them, players that can handle the Championship. So the planning would have gone in before the game. And like Mick said, winning the playoffs is, I've been fortunate enough to win it as a player, and now, you know, what a way to go out for Charlton. Brilliant.
Gents, it's been an absolute pleasure. Enjoy your summers, by the way. OK, one final game coming up for you on Sky Sports Football, the biggest game in English domestic football. It will be Aston Villa against Derby from 2 p.m. tomorrow. So Sunderland's Wembley hoodoo continues, but for Charlton Athletic, after a 3-year absence, they're back in the Sky Bet Championship.
Down the lonely avenues, like all the
Sky Sports Football. Feel it all.